Wendy with a notebook, Wendy with a pen, digging through the dark where the secrets been. Questions fly like bullets, truth cuts deep in the shadows where nightmares creep. Watch them break it down, unveil the lies, under lurid skies where the danger hides. With fire in their veins and mistrust in their eyes. Randy and Wendy taking you for a ride. Clues left scattered like whispers in the wind. Every page they turn closer to the end. No stone unturned, no mystery safe. Through the chaos they pave the way. Watch them break it down, unveil the lies, under lurid skies where the danger hides. With fire in their veins and distrust in their eyes. Randy and Wendy taking you for a ride. Clues left scattered like whispers in the wind. Every page they turn closer to the end. No stone unturned, no mystery safe. Through the chaos they pave the way. Watch them break it down, unveil the lies, under lurid skies where the danger hides. With fire in their veins and distrust in their eyes. Randy and Wendy taking you for a ride. Late nights burn bright under the moon. Answers buried deep, they'll find them soon. Guts and glory on a darkened stage. Randy and Wendy script the final page.
Ooh, I love that song.
I do too. Hey, Pammy. Hey, Freeside. Thank y'all for being here.
Hey, everybody. Every time I hear that song, I like it more.
Me too. I felt like it was skipping a little bit today.
I need to get you a different version of that because there's a spot in the beginning where it hiccups too.
Yeah, well, we've been saying that since we started.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm not doing anything about it, but sorry about that. Just acknowledging
bad.
for the record. Just acknowledging for the record that I know I still need to do that.
Yeah, and then acknowledge that I forget about it every time until I'm on your panel and it don't skip. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm waiting because in my head that's a part of the song.
Yeah, that's right. It does. It makes it a little suspenseful. Sure, that's all right.
Yeah. Wait, what's going to happen next? You don't know. You got a second to figure it out. Hold on.
Are you going to get words? No. Are you going to get silence? Maybe.
You're going to get entertainment. Probably not. But, you know, we're
Sure
here
you are.
nonetheless. Of
Sure you
course.
are. So it's getting good over there in Arizona.
It is.
We
It
might
is.
need to start streaming again. It is getting a little enjoyable. Yesterday was quite fun.
It was. And I missed quite a bit, but because I know everyone's going to be shocked to hear this. I got sick. Had to go to the doctor yesterday. Sorry we didn't stream. But if you live anywhere near our area, you know that there's no one going to escape the sinus infection that's coming with this bullshit. So
Poor Randy. She's not been feeling well for a minute. Stupid sinuses.
Went and got me a good old shot that's made me starving.
Oh, yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I thought about that.
Every post on my Facebook has been cake too. I'm like, come on, really?
Maybe you need to go get some cake.
I do. I think I do. I probably will, actually.
Clearly, the Lord is talking to you.
I mean, he knows what I need more than I know. That's
right?
Fact.
Exactly. Why are you fighting with him about it? That's funny.
So, yeah.
All right. So, yesterday was fun.
Yes.
We got a lady on panel that was dating Charles, or went on at least out to dinner with him a couple of times. Had lots and lots of long, meaningful conversations about Lori and her craziness. Lori did not appreciate such things. She was not happy to know that.
she was not impressed at all with this lady, but I was.
Not even a little bit.
mean,
I liked her. I thought she was great. So what do you got for us first?
And I think I got that pulled up.
Okay.
But I think that Lori showed that she's still jealous. And we got to keep in mind when you're.
I'm sorry. The man is dead and she's married to someone else. What are you doing?
And she wanted him dead.
You don't get to be jealous.
You don't. You don't get to be jealous. Sorry.
You don't.
Not even sorry. Let's see. Pull that right in. Hold on.
Yes,
Did it share?
it was.
It didn't share, did it?
I see
Wait,
us.
yeah. Oh, well, let's see. I didn't share the right thing. That'll do it.
You're sharing this tab.
There we go. And I have to tell you, I didn't listen to the prosecution question this lady, and we may should do that. I don't know.
Nancy Joe, right? Correct.
I
You have not
haven't been.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we can, except that I don't really know what the point. I think I did listen to it, and I don't know exactly the reason that she was even called. Like, I mean, okay,
Just to say, I think to verify
to piss Lori off is what I was thinking.
Well, and it worked, and maybe to verify that he had told her ahead of time, that he knew what. Hey, Patty, good to see you. Thank you for coming.
Hey, Patty.
That he was kind of expecting to be killed, or I don't think he would have mentioned on a new to a date, a first date, that I've switched my life insurance policy over to my sister.
I mean, yeah, that was kind of strange. That he would discuss such things. Maybe. I mean, unless I guess obviously that was the big thing going on in his life. I suppose maybe that's why.
I'm sure. But to us, it sounds like, wait, what?
Yes, it does. Sounds odd to us.
But I will say, and I'm no expert in the LDS church, but they do date to marry. So that may be one of the questions they ask right up front. You got life insurance?
What kind of insurance policies are you carrying?
Yeah.
All right, well, that's fair. What's your 401k like?
Like they're not like us hoes that's just trying to get out and get some. They're looking for a husband.
Right. They're looking long term.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And you stated that your husband or my husband told you that he was going through a divorce. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And did you have any way to verify that?
No, I didn't try to verify that.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I mean,
did
why
it
would
surprise you
she?
later to find out that we were not?
Yeah.
Why would she? What is she gonna do? Let me give me your divorce lawyer, a phone number so I can verify.
Right.
Like,
and then here
it's
comes
what?
the scuffle. Did it surprise you? Did it surprise you to hear that we, in fact, were not getting divorced yet? I was just sleeping with Chad.
She does not let it go either, and the date it absolutely doesn't buckle, and I love it. It's fantastic.
Yes.
Verify that.
Okay. So
Okay.
did it surprise you later to find out that we were not in the process of a divorce?
Charles was in the process of a divorce.
Boom.
Woo!
He was not in the process of a divorce. Did it surprise you to find that out? You've seen it all on TV where we're not getting divorced.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Right.
So on the website that you met him, did he say he was divorced?
I'm not certain.
Would you have gone on a date with him if he would have said he was married?
If I would
relevance.
have realized how married he still was, maybe not. But I just
But
went
I
for
realized he
dinner. I
was married
wasn't
to a
sleeping
crazy
with him
person.
or anything.
Do you go on dates with married men?
Woo!
Naturally?
Yeah,
Damn.
then that is not an attorney question. In fact, it's more of an accusation, but whatever.
That is a question of a scorned wife, is what that's a question.
Yes.
Under 611 for
He's
harassment.
calling you a hoe.
Right.
Mhm.
I'll sustain the objection.
Your Honor, do I not have a right to cross-examine this witness for what she has already testified to?
You can cross-examine her about what she's testified to.
This judge kills me.
So you
man.
did go on a date with a married man,
I went on a date with Charles.
but you did not know he was married.
I knew his divorce was not final.
His divorce was not started.
Okay.
Damn.
Okay.
Okay.
I love it. Okay.
Two women. Get up and box. Just do
I
it.
know.
So in your text messages, you asked Charles if he was a good kisser. Is that correct?
Maybe, sure.
And this has zero to do with the case, ladies and gentlemen. She just is.
Absolutely not. She just wants to know why you're talking to her husband like that.
Yes.
Did he answer that text message?
I'm
I'm gonna
sure.
object to
I'm sure he did.
relevance. Again, 611 harassment.
I'll sustain the objection for relevance
That judge doesn't know what the fuck
and
to
hearsay.
do.
No. He's just so, and he's so soft spoken. Turn his
I
mic
know.
up, please.
Tamika 2 Cents calls him Judge Smolder.
Yeah.
Are you trying to tell me and this jury that you went on one date with my husband and he told you all the details of our lives?
Well, no.
I'm
that's not
telling
what
you the
she said.
truth, and that's what I know.
So you spent your whole date getting to know each other, talking about me.
Ah,
Don't flatter yourself. No, we did not spend the whole time talking about you.
Chef's kiss, ma'am.
wow. Wow.
And I guarantee you, Lori was waiting for some attorney to say something,
Oh my God.
not really realizing that she's the attorney that's supposed to say something.
Right. She's the one that can strike that, but you know.
Yeah. But she don't. Just in
Course
case you're
not.
wondering, she doesn't strike that because she's taken aback right now that this woman is bucking her.
Yes. Oh my word.
Yes.
That was fabulous. So you spent the whole night talking about me. Don't flatter yourself. Oh my God. So good.
Like,
So good.
bitch, you wish.
Oh
You,
my
talked,
God.
you knew a lot about me, right?
I knew what I've testified to.
What else did you talk about on your date?
Lots of things.
How
Like
in the
what,
world-
for instance?
No.
Life, kids, the church, lots of things.
Okay. Did he tell you about anything about our other 4 children?
Yes,
So you knew that we did have 5 children as well?
I did.
Okay. Did he talk to you about my daughter, Tylee?
He did.
Did he talk about his relationship with her?
Well, I don't recall that.
Did he talk about the contention in his relationship with my daughter, Tylee?
I don't recall that.
I'm sure you don't.
So
I'm going
Oh!
to object to comments by the defendant made after questions testifying.
I'll sustain the objection.
On your date, you talked
not gonna
about
do
my
that, ma'am.
husband was a life
mm.
insurance salesman. Is that correct?
I knew he did something with money and insurance, but I really didn't know the details of what he did for work. Like I said, I don't ask the details about what someone does for work when I'm trying to get to know someone.
But you knew that he sold life insurance. You stated that.
I believe that I had a vague understanding that he did something with insurance.
And then he brought that up again at dinner.
No, we didn't talk about his work at dinner.
I thought you said you did talk about, correct me if I'm wrong, you said you did talk about that he changed the life insurance policy at dinner.
Well, you were asking me if we talked about that he sold insurance, which that didn't happen. But yes, he did tell me that he changed the beneficiary of his life insurance policy at dinner.
Did he tell you how much his life insurance policy was for?
Yes, he did.
What did he say?
$1 million.
Did he tell you how much my life insurance policy was for?
I do not recall.
You don't recall?
We didn't talk about you very much in that vein.
Woo!
When did you talk to him about me very much then? If it wasn't at dinner, was it in your text messages?
We were talking about what he was going through in the process of separating from you, not about what your life insurance policy was worth. And we talked about you on the phone. And when I say you, meaning what he was doing as he was going through this separation.
So let me understand. You were dating some different men on this website, right? From the websites.
Sure.
Would you say it was common for men to be talking so much about their supposed ex-wives during their conversations with a potential,
It's actually very common.
Absolutely.
really
Really.
Yes.
interesting?
And again, Your Honor, I'm
All right.
going to object to the defendant making comments after her questions. and
I'm
then
sorry,
just
Your
strike-
Honor. I won't do that again.
All right, please stop.
I'll
now.
just ask the questions.
Thank you.
Interesting.
So
I
there
know,
were some
Nevaeh,
text
right?
messages between you and my husband after the dinner on July 10th. Is that correct?
Correct.
What time would those text messages have occurred?
After dinner,
What time?
10:45-ish.
10:45 to what?
I'm not certain, ma'am. After dinner.
10:45 to midnight? Maybe?
I just told you I don't know.
Good answer.
Maybe.
She does that
What
a
did
lot.
you discuss in
That's
those
the
text
question
messages?
where
And I'm going to object to
Yes.
relevance again. There's a
She does
specific
that a lot.
area.
They'll say they don't know, and then she asks the same
Sustained.
exact question again.
Yeah. Are you sure you don't know?
Right. Like they just said they don't know.
You know why, Lori? Because a liar always thinks other people are lying.
Absolutely.
Can you show us Lori's Can you show us how Lori's shock belt works?
Yes, please. I just need his hand to slip just once.
You testified a
Yeah.
minute ago that
Right,
Charles told
Nevaeh?
you a lot of things about his wife. You didn't say ex-wife, but you said wife. Is that correct?
Okay, sure.
What were a lot of things?
The things that I've testified to.
Can you be more specific?
Am I allowed to do a narrative then?
Let's go on.
I say yes.
sidebar.
Sure. Let's put it all out there. Why not?
I like this lady a lot.
Oh yeah. Very very, dignified. I do. I like her.
Let's see what else we got. Let's see.
Is that it? That's all we had for that one?
For that one, yeah.
Okay.
Let's see what now this one is this from yesterday or today? Her friend, Christina
yesterday.
Atwood.
That was yesterday. Yes, that was yesterday also.
Okay, okay.
Christina Atwood.
All right, ma'am, you're going to come right up here in
Now, did
front
Lori question her
of me
too? I
and be
guess
sworn
so.
in.
Yeah, she did. I believe so.
I think I want to find that.
Yeah, we should watch all of it. I'm telling you, it was good yesterday. It was good stuff yesterday.
Well, this is 47 minutes. It may have both. Let me speed
Okay.
it up just a little.
You're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth will help you die.
Oh, let me turn subtitles on.
All right, you're going to have a seat just over here to my left.
All right, y'all. If it gets too
Could you please
fast,
introduce yourself to the jury?
Christina Atwood.
How old are you, Christina?
I'm 52.
If you can get just a little closer, you're very soft to the,
52.
thank you. I know nobody wants to say that loud. Do you live here in Arizona?
Yes.
Do Did you live here in Arizona in 2019?
I did.
Are you from here?
Not originally.
How long have you been in Arizona?
2009.
I want to start by asking you a little bit about some personal part of your life. Are you a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints?
Yes,
Were you raised in that religion?
I was.
As a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, did you ever meet Lori Vallow?
I did.
Do you recall sort of where you first met her? Start with that.
At church.
And do you recall approximately when you first met her?
We moved into that area in 2010. And I'm not sure if their family was there at that time or not, but
Sometime after that?
yes,
And did you know her husband, Charles Vallow?
yes,
Was that also through church?
yes,
Did you initially, well, let me start. Did you know they were married?
yes.
Did you have more contact with one over the other?
More with Lori than with Charles.
And why was that?
My sons and husband had interaction with Lori through the primary program. And I didn't have much interaction with her before they moved to Hawaii. But when her and Charles had moved to Hawaii, we went on a trip and we stopped to visit, and Charles was not at home. And so we interacted with Lori on that trip.
Do you see Lori Vallow at that time in the courtroom today?
I'm sorry, what was that?
See Lori Vallow in the courtroom today?
Yes.
And can you point her out and identify what she's wearing?
Purple top and suit coat, dark suit coat.
Your Honor, may the record reflect the witnesses identified the defendant.
It shall.
Okay, so you told us that you met Lori and Charles through the church. Do you know how long you went to church with them before they moved to Hawaii?
I don't recall what year they moved, but I know that we moved to the area in 2010 and we went and visited in 2015.
Okay. And that's, you visited them in
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Yes.
Other than that, well, let me ask you, when you visited Lori in Hawaii, were her kids there with her? But you said they lived there, right?
Yes.
Okay, so did you know at that time how many children were living with Lori and Charles?
2,
Who were they?
JJ and Tylee. I don't know if Tylee was there that weekend. She may have been gone. It might have just been JJ.
But you were familiar with them having those 2 children?
Yes.
Residing with them?
And I also had known her son previous, before they moved to Hawaii, was in our ward as well. But he wasn't living in Hawaii, I don't believe.
And that was, do you know if that was Colby?
Yes.
Was he a son from a prior marriage?
Yes.
Did you know any of Charles's children from a prior marriage?
No.
When you went to Hawaii and saw Lori and JJ, how long did you spend, a day or weeks? How long were you visiting them?
We visited on a Sunday afternoon for an hour or 2. And then sometime in that week, we got together for a couple of hours on the ocean, just paddleboarding. And that was it.
Had you had social interactions with Lori and Charles prior to going to Hawaii?
Not anything of other than waving or saying hello or something. No.
So mostly it would have been prior to that, tied to any church activities or things like that?
Correct.
Did you at some point learn that Lori and Charles had moved back to Arizona?
Yes.
How did you learn that?
I'm not positive if it was that I ran into them in the temple, because I recall one time seeing them both at the temple.
And do you recall if that was around 2018?
Yes.
When you said you ran into them, you're saying both Charles and Lori you saw at the temple.
Yes.
So you learned they're back in Arizona at this point. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you ever have Lori ask you to go with her to Hawaii?
Yes, she did invite me.
Do you recall when that was?
I believe it was the fall or late summer of 2018, but I'm not positive.
Do you recall ever do you remember being interviewed by the police?
Yes.
And were you interviewed by a couple different detectives?
Yes.
In April of 2021, do you remember speaking with
Lavender.
a detective, Ron Ball?
Yes.
And do you remember telling him that sort of the beginning of the year of 2019 is when Lori asked you if you wanted to go to Hawaii?
Could have been. Yep.
Does that sound familiar to you?
Yes.
Did she tell you why she wanted to go to Hawaii?
No, I don't recall.
Let me ask you this. When you spoke with the police back in 2020, was your memory better at that point about all of what
For
was going
sure.
on? Now that it's 2025, has your memory faded as to some of the details?
Yes.
Would listening to a portion of your interview about that help potentially refresh your recollection?
Yes.
And Your Honor, if I can have my paralegal go up with Exhibit 282.
Go ahead.
If you can just listen to this portion and see if that refreshes your recollection as to why Lori was asking you to go to Hawaii and when.
Hold on, I can bump through this.
You talking to the detective about this sort of time period in January where Lori's asking you to go to Hawaii, and there's a lot of things going on there.
Yes, I recall that. I actually remembered the invitation being prior to that. And what I was referring to there was something else.
So there was a prior time you had gone to Hawaii to see Lori and a prior invite, correct?
No, I just gone in 2015 with my family.
Okay.
That's the only time
That you went there with
that I
her.
went there. Yes.
Okay. So having listened to that recording, did it refresh your recollection about Lori inviting you to Hawaii in sort of the January of 2019 period?
Yes, but I didn't say there that I was invited to go. And I thought that that was previous to that time. But at some point in either the fall or the spring there, I thought it was the fall, winter. She invited me to go to Hawaii.
Okay.
And I wasn't able to go.
When, well, let me ask you. So in January of 2019, did Lori reach out to you about some things that were going on in her life?
Yes.
Did she talk to you about her marriage?
She shared that she was upset with Charles.
And did she indicate whether or not she was still living with him?
She had indicated that she was not with him at the time.
Did she indicate that she had gone to Hawaii?
Yes.
And did she indicate that she was not telling anyone that she was there?
She indicated that she was keeping it, that there wasn't very many people she was sharing it with. Yes.
Okay. Did she indicate that Charles was back in Texas?
Yes.
Did she indicate that Charles had JJ with him in Texas?
Yes.
Did she indicate that her daughter Tylee was staying with her brother Alex?
Yes.
Did she indicate that Charles had tried to take her temple recommend away, and this was one of the reasons she left?
Yes.
And was it her, did she tell you that she didn't want Charles to know where she was?
I don't recall.
So if you had said that to the police back in April of 2021, would your memory have been better?
For
back then?
sure.
Do you contest that you told the police back then that she was trying to make sure that Charles didn't know where she was?
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
Would you, if you had told the police back in April of 2021 that Lori told you she didn't want Charles to know where she was, would you have been truthful back then?
For
telling
sure.
them that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know how long she stayed in Hawaii?
I don't.
Did you ever become aware of her going to Idaho as well?
No, not until December of 2019.
Do you know how long she stayed, how long she didn't let Charles know where she was?
I don't recall.
At some point, did you learn she was back in Arizona?
Yes.
Did she reach out to you to invite you to any groups?
Yes.
Do you recall approximately when the first time it was that you met with her in some group format in 2019?
I believe it was spring 2019, maybe February.
And do you recall, were there other people at that meeting?
Yes.
Do you recall who was there?
Yes.
Who was it?
Zulema, Melanie Gibb, Nicole Earl, and Serena Sharp.
Who organized that? Or who invited you? Let me ask that. Did Lori invite you, or did one of these other women invite you?
I don't recall.
Do you recall whose house it was at?
It was at Zulema's.
Okay. And did you know at that time if Lori and Charles were still separated?
Could you say that again?
Did you know at this meeting if Lori and Charles were still separated, living in different homes?
Yes, I believe so.
Did you know who was caring for JJ at that time?
Yes, I believe she was at Alex's.
JJ?
Oh, sorry, JJ. I believe JJ was in Texas.
Still with Charles.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a yes?
Yes.
And then you said Tylee was still staying with her uncle Alex?
Yes.
Did you know where Lori was living at that time?
With Alex.
Had you met these other women
thank
prior
you
to
so
this
much,
meeting in
Sandy.
February-ish, 2019?
The only other
Who?
person that I
Thank
knew
you.
was Nicole Earl.
Okay.
Hi, Charlie.
So this was the first time you were meeting the person whose house it was at, Zulema?
Correct.
The first time that you were meeting Melanie Gibb,
Correct.
and the first time you said Serena, is that Serena Sharp?
Correct.
Was there anything that Lori said at this meeting in February-ish of 2019 that she said about Charles that stood out to you?
She was concerned about dark spirits plaguing him.
Did she in fact tell you that he was possessed by dark spirits?
I don't recall.
Did you recall talking to the police, again, back in April of 2021, and advising them that this is the first time you're hearing that Charles is possessed?
If I said it then yes.
When you were meeting on this weekend, or this weekend, what do you remember about this group meeting? Was it a night, a weekend? How was that?
It was an evening. We may have met twice in the evening that weekend.
Did you know where Serena was from? Like, did she live locally?
She did not. She was visiting from out of state.
When you were meeting at these in February of 2019, do you recall telling police that Lori was talking about Charles being dark or having a dark spirit?
Yes.
And do you recall saying that he was possessed and she had a name for who he was possessed by?
Sorry, can you say that one more time?
Sure. Do you recall telling the police that he was possessed and she had a name for who he was possessed by?
I don't recall, but believe that I said it.
Would listening to your recording help refresh your recollection as to that?
Yes.
Your Honor, if we can have her listen to Exhibit 200.
Go ahead.
Is it weird that she doesn't remember any of this stuff?
Well, I think it's because it's been how many years? 5?
I know, but this is like big. It's kind of it's odd. It's it's very memorable, isn't it? Wouldn't this stand
Yeah.
out in your memory?
She's probably terrified too. Yeah, it would. I think it would. I think she's terrified to say the wrong thing.
Hey, Shamat,
Yeah.
love you too. Hey, Sandy Law. Sorry if I missed people coming in. I wasn't
Hey,
looking at the
Shamat,
chat.
didn't see you. I didn't see you. It's too bad we can't hear that.
Can't hear what?
Whatever the interview says.
Oh, yes. I know. Why aren't they
Camera's gonna get in trouble.
I wonder
Camera's
why
gonna
they're
get in trouble. Probably because the jury can't know about the murders of her children.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's why that's quiet.
Yeah.
Did that help refresh your recollection as to whether or not Lori had ever told you that her husband Charles was possessed?
Yes.
And did it help refresh your recollection
Hey,
as to whether or
Danny.
not Lori Vallow had told you that her husband was possessed by some spirit that had a name?
Thank you,
Yes.
Shamat.
And at that time, you could not recall what the name was.
Correct.
Correct. Okay.
Everything is good. Check your text.
Did you hear Lori speak about Charles being possessed more than once,
Yes.
on more than one occasion?
Yes.
Did she tell you, as well as the other women who were at this meeting in February, that her husband was possessed?
Yes.
So it wasn't just you in a private conversation.
Correct.
She was open about it.
Yes.
When you would try to reach Lori, did she have multiple phone numbers that she could call?
Yes.
Do you recall if she had more than 2 phones?
I know 2 cell phones.
And did she also potentially have a third line? A third phone number that might have been a home number?
Yes.
So at least 2 different cell phones that you could call her.
Yes.
Was she working at the time?
Not that I recall.
Did you know her to work?
No.
Hey, Mrs. M.
So to your understanding, they were both personal cell phones,
Correct.
like a work phone that was given to her.
Yes.
Did you have another meeting that you recalled where it was like a Zoom type meeting where maybe Serena had called in or done a team Zoom meeting during the pandemic?
Yes.
Do you recall where that meeting happened? Did anyone meet in person during that one?
Not that I recall.
Everyone was attending via Zoom?
Yes.
And during this meeting, do you recall Lori again talking about
Person
Charles being
testifying
possessed?
is
Yes.
from
being
yesterday.
controlled by
Christina Atwood, Lori's friend.
dark spirits?
Yes.
Did you ever participate in any castings?
Hey, Cass.
Castings? What are those?
Casting people out, maybe?
Let me ask it this way. Did Lori ever talk to you about casting?
Yes.
What did you understand that to mean?
It was praying for dark spirits to be cast out of someone.
Were you ever involved in a casting for her husband?
I was in her presence when she prayed for that.
Were you ever present when people were assigned different elements to be part of the casting?
I don't recall.
Wow. Why wouldn't you recall that?
Do you recall
See this woman.
when you were
I
present for
do.
that
I have
casting?
to think because I remember. Okay, well, never mind. But I remember crazy stuff I've done like that, and
Well, that never mind.
yeah,
But
I've
I'm
had
just saying,
cast.
I don't know. Like, I think she should remember some of this.
Yeah,
Why
that's-
wouldn't you? It's weird. I don't know. I don't find her believable.
But she's 52. She may be going through the pause.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
Yeah, I'm pass. You get a pass from me, ma'am. Sorry about Wendy.
Sorry that my friend is assuming you're going through the change.
Yeah, right. That's true. But I confidently pulled up to the KFC drive-thru yesterday and said, "Yeah, I want the $10 Tuesday special." And they're like, "We only sell that on Tuesdays."
And that's when you say, I wasn't ordering it. I was just telling you that I wanted it. Okay.
I saw it on Facebook and just wonder if y'all really had it.
What I really want is the Wednesday special. Thanks.
Yeah. And she's like, well, that's what she said. Do you want the Wednesday special? And she's like, and we don't have a 10-piece. They don't have a 10-piece at KFC anymore. They have an 8-piece. But for some reason on Wednesdays you can get 7 pieces for $9.99.
Well, that just sounds like a lot of unnecessary memorization right there. That's what I'm
Right. I
saying.
wonder what they do on Thursdays. They get nine pieces.
That sounds all like a bunch of unnecessary.
Do you recall which one of these
I
meetings
know.
you may have been present for that casting? We have a meeting in February, as you said, and a Teams meeting. Was it at either of those?
The last time that I got together with her at Sulema's house, we had all got together and prayed.
Okay.
And
And let's talk about the last time.
okay.
Was the last time you all got together on June 9th of 2019?
Yes.
And you said that was at Zulema's house as well?
Yes.
Who invited you to that?
I don't recall.
Who was at the meeting?
It's the first time I'd ever met Alex, her brother. Sulema was there. I believe her niece, Melanie Boudreaux, was there. Nicole Earl and Melanie Gibb. And there was another woman that was a friend of one of the ladies. I can't recall her name.
Okay. So was this the first time you met Melanie Boudreaux?
No, I'd met her another time.
And do you recall when that was?
That was at Alex's house, I believe.
Was that one of the two
In
meetings?
between those two, the first and the last, I believe there was 3 meetings.
Okay. And you said it was the first time you met Alex Cox.
Correct.
How did you learn he was related to Lori?
He was introduced to me.
Okay. As her brother?
Yes.
Can you tell us your impression of Alex Cox? What was the impression you got from meeting him and being with him for a night?
I was put off by it.
Why?
He was pretty loud and outspoken, I guess. And I was very uncomfortable with what he was talking about.
Okay. Well, let's kind of go through what happened at this meeting. At this meeting, did Lori still express that her husband Charles was possessed?
Yes.
And what were you guys? What was happening at this meeting? I know you said there was a prayer. What was happening?
We were asked to fast and pray for her family, and so we'd come together fasting, and we, as I recall, gathered outside and had a prayer together. And I believe Lori was the one that said the prayer. And then we went in and broke our fast and ate and then visited.
Okay. Was Alex part of that prayer outside?
Yes.
Okay. During this when you broke your fast and you guys were eating, did you hear Alex making some comments?
Yes.
And you told us that they made you uncomfortable. What were these comments?
He stated he wished that he could just kill Charles.
Okay. Was Lori around when he was saying this?
Yes, one of the times.
Okay. So he said it more than once.
Yes.
Can you describe for us sort of his demeanor when he's saying this about wanting to just kill Charles?
It was jocular, just as I recall, he was standing up and just talking about it pretty loudly.
And you said one of the times that he said this, it was around Lori.
Yes.
Did she react in any way to hearing her brother say that he wished he could just kill her husband?
Not that I recall.
Did you overhear Lori ever tell him, you can't kill my husband?
No.
Or why would you say such a thing like that?
No.
Did it seem to have any impact that you recall on her?
No.
Now, you were disturbed by this,
Yes.
but you didn't see that same reaction in her.
Correct.
What did you think when you heard this?
It was upsetting.
And so you've already heard Lori talking for at least a couple months about her husband being possessed, right?
Yes.
Inhabited by these dark, evil spirits, right?
Yes.
And now you're hearing her brother say that he wished he could just kill him.
Yes.
And this is on June 9th of 2019.
Yes.
During this same gathering on June 9th of 2019, did you hear Lori Vallow say anything about Charles that was also disturbing to you?
Yes.
What did you hear her say?
I heard her say that she had crushed up some of JJ's medicine and put it in his drink mix.
Did it sound like a significant amount of medication?
Yes.
Well, that's
When you
not
heard
good.
this, what were you thinking?
No, that's
I
not good.
was
Not good
disturbed.
for you, Lori.
Not looking good for our hero.
So you're thinking now she's drugging her husband?
Yes.
Alex, have any reaction to this?
Not that I recall.
Why didn't you go to the police, man?
So when you are hearing
True.
these sort of things, did you say anything?
Could have saved a life, actually, ma'am.
Yeah, I mean, why didn't you go to the police?
3
Why
lives,
didn't you tell
4,
anybody?
5.
The fuck? Maybe she has a reason. Let's find out. Maybe
That
she
time?
says.
I didn't.
Yeah.
You
Did you
shit.
stay much longer at this gathering? Did you decide to do anything as a result of having heard Alex make those statements about killing Charles and Lori making statements about drugging her husband?
Yes.
What did you decide to do?
I reached out and asked her to visit with me.
And when was that?
I believe the next day.
So June 10th?
Yes.
Oh, good.
And
You're going to talk
did you
her out
meet
of
with
it.
her? I
Great
did.
idea.
And what did you tell her?
I told her I was very concerned about what had been said and that it was really disturbing. And I told her that if something had happened to Charles, that I would go to the police.
And how did she react to that?
She said that they were just being silly and just playing off of each other and that she hadn't meant anything by it. She's just being dramatic.
Did she also give you a sort of a lesser dose of drugs that she was drugging?
Yes, she said that she hadn't given as many as she had suggested the day before.
So minimized what she said.
Yes.
I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some other things that you had been hearing from Lori during this time period. From the time you started meeting with these gatherings in February through to June, did you start to see sort of a progression of things that Lori was telling you that seemed outside of your faith?
Yes.
Did she make statements to you that you believe went against your religion?
Yes.
Did she at any point tell you that she did not need to repent anymore?
Yes.
Oh.
What is that? What is that meaningful to you in
Wow.
your religion?
Okay.
We believe that every single person outside of Jesus Christ has reason to repent.
So when she said something like that,
Every
did
day.
that cause you some concern?
It did.
Did she ever talk to you about going through a translation?
Yes, that she believed she was beginning to.
Did she ever talk to you and the others in your groups about knowing you in prior lives?
Yes.
And was everyone in the group sort of someone she indicated she knew from prior lives?
Yes.
Now, prior to sort of February and then these 3 meetings, had you had a lot of contact with Lori?
No,
Like you hadn't dined with her or, gone shopping with her or anything like that before?
no, not between those 3.
When you were at that last meeting in June, was Serena at that meeting?
No,
During that meeting, did you overhear Lori talking about Serena in a way that also disturbed you?
yes.
What do you recall of that?
It was just very negative, and that she didn't believe that Serena was going to be good after all, something to that effect.
Okay. So prior to that meeting, Serena had been at the meeting at Zulema's house,
Yes, just the one.
and she had been on a Zoom meeting maybe?
Yes,
And then this meeting in June, she was
not.
not. And at that point, Lori seemed to be talking negative of her.
correct.
When you talked to Lori about these statements that you had heard Alex say and her say on the 9th, did you continue to meet up with Lori after that?
No,
Did Lori ever invite you to any more of these gatherings or prayers?
I was invited one time to go for lunch.
When was that?
I believe August.
So between June and August, you did not
Thank you,
receive any other
Tylie.
invitations?
No,
Did you at some point learn that Charles had been killed?
yes.
How did you learn that?
I received a text message that he'd been killed.
And who did you think had killed Charles?
Originally, when I received the message, I believed it was a brother-in-law of his. And so it was some time before I realized that Alex had been involved.
So initially you had said when you met with Lori that you would go to the police, but when you learned Charles was killed, your understanding was it was someone else.
Correct.
So when you learned it was Alex, what was going through your head then?
I had somebody who had visited with Lori about it and had said that
Not going into their hearsay. Let me just
Okay.
ask you this. Had you spoken to someone who was passing along information to you of what they understood had happened?
yes,
The shooting of Charles by Alex was about a month after you had heard him say he wanted to kill Charles, correct?
yes,
Did you feel like after you confronted Lori that she distanced herself from you?
yes.
Did that seem to be the same as what you heard and saw happening with Serena?
I don't know.
Okay. On the 9th, you had heard Lori talking negative about Serena, correct?
Yes.
And she hadn't been invited to that meeting.
She lived out of state, so
Hey, Davida, good to see
I
you.
wasn't surprised that she wasn't invited.
Had she flown in for a previous meeting though?
Yes,
So,
just the one, the initial one.
in terms of your interactions with Lori, did she ever tell you that she was joking about her husband being possessed?
No,
Did she ever tell you she was joking about him having this dark spirit inhabiting him?
no,
And did she ever, you told us that she told you there was a name for this spirit that you don't recall now, correct?
yes,
Did she ever tell you she was joking about that?
no.
No other questions. Thank you.
All right, Cross.
No questions, Your Honor.
What?
Are there any questions for this witness from the jury?
No
Not
questions.
seeing any. Ma'am, you can step down.
Thank you.
That's
So
probably as safe as,
disappointed.
it's probably the safest bet, honestly.
True.
I can't think of a single question she could ask that would go well.
That's very, very true. And I guarantee you, everybody in that courtroom went, poof.
I can't think of a single thing she could possibly ask that woman that would not sound insane.
Right. Why are you lying about me? Yeah. There's
Right.
nothing you can do.
No. So probably better to just get her off the stage as fast as you can. The stand as fast as you can. And move along, little doggy,
Yeah. I'm looking now to see what it recommends. Might have to just go back to Court TV.
Let's watch some of today. I mean, if we got nothing else, let's watch some of today.
Yeah, let me go. Because there was a good one. Let me look. Oh, okay. Close. Oh. Never mind. The one that's members first, we just watched.
Oh, okay.
What? Well, and that's because, well, it was a 9 minute and 15. Well, we could have saved ourselves quite a bit of time there if I had looked, actually. But let's see. Sure, we can find something.
I was really starting to get into today's. So I think we might want to start streaming again, which I can't believe I'm actually saying. But it was enjoyable. It was really good.
Well, we had a feeling it would perk up.
Yeah, I guess that's true. We did say that.
It just the beginning, the foundation when they're laying that is so
yes, very dry.
very dry.
Yeah.
All right, come on. Come on, give me clips. Give me clips. See, here's her full interview with Arizona police the day her husband was killed. Ugh.
It's good.
Should we watch it?
We could watch that. I mean, and the video that I saw, it's not as long as it looks like it is, because there's I think the last hour she's sitting there quiet, nobody's even talking to her because they're not even in the room. So, but for whatever reason, it's still recording. So,
well, this one is an hour long,
right? But I bet if you pull it in, I could tell you. We could zoom through it real quick, and I could tell you if it's the one that I saw.
Is that it? Yeah, I bet. Because look at the peak.
She's alone in there.
Yeah. Okay, we'll be able to.
Yeah. And I've been talking about that for a couple days now. I've been wanting.
I know that's why it's got me intrigued. I want to hear Tylie's too, just to see if Tylee, because I know that she gave an interview, and I don't think that she said that he tried to hit her with a bat. Hey, Christy, good to see you.
Okay, so just run it this way. Okay. If there's anything, but R-I.
Okay. And then what's your last name?
Vallow, V-A-L-L-O-W.
And your date of birth? And your phone number?
Yeah. Well, I bet she asked them to.
And you live at the house, right? Okay. Okay, I know this sounds silly, but it's probably the easiest way to start, is just to tell me what happened. And then,
mind you, this is the night. This is the night this all happened.
Right.
This is hours, I don't even know, minutes, hours away from her husband being killed.
Right.
I just, her demeanor is amazing to me. Watch her through this whole interview. Watch how she behaves. It's insane to me. Absolutely crazy.
And I would want to ask her, did you do your makeup before or after he was shot?
It's so many questions, Randy. So many freaking questions.
Yes.
you can start what makes the most sense to you, and we'll just work our way through it. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions just to kind of clarify.
Sure.
So I know you talked to the initial patrol officer.
And he just got information.
Okay. So yeah, if you can just kind of tell me kind of what happened. It sounds like some of this may have started last night or something along those lines.
Right.
So start where you think it makes the most sense.
Okay, so,
I told you, it's a crazy question.
well, So we moved into this house 3 weeks ago because he offered to get me a house here where all my family is. So we were in Houston. And so he's like, we had decided to separate or whatever. So he's like, well, I'll pay for a house for you and for JJ and whatever, because he's all about JJ. He's never about Tylee, but he's all about JJ. Because we adopted him together. He's his great nephew. We adopted him as a baby. And so we adopted him as a baby, and so we've been raising him together. And he travels all the time for business, so he's used to just going back and forth. So he's always gone like Monday through Friday. So he came when we first moved in and brought me stuff from Houston, like a U-Haul, and then he hasn't been back. But it's all these threats on my phone all the time, you know, like whatever, all these things. And then he told me,
what kind of threats?
Just,
I know, she just yada yada over the threat.
you have to read them to me, but he's always mad at me.
She didn't just say, she's just gabbing like she didn't say something traumatic that changed her entire life.
Thank you. That is what that's exactly what I was saying the whole time. Like, woman, I don't even understand what you're saying right now.
Front. She's like, I need to hurry up and get through this so I can go file for their Social Security because.
Jeez, man. So crazy. So crazy.
Yes. And you know why she's so giddy is she thinks she's coming into $1 million.
Right. She thinks she won the lottery tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Guess again, ma'am.
Yep.
And he doesn't want a divorce, but I don't like him and don't want to deal with him, so that's just how it is. So we married for 14 years, we dealt with him for 14 years, and him being horrible to her. Like, he gets in huge fights with her, a lot of things. But anyway, so he said, I'm coming.
Okay, so you let somebody be horrible to your daughter for 14 years, you say, because you didn't want to deal with it.
And she just yada yadas over most of it. She barely tells any details. It's
Don't
all,
need
you
to
know,
slow-
and this and this and this and it, like, she's stumbling all over the place. It's crazy.
Wow. So she's not talking shit about him. He's dead on the floor, ma'am.
Yeah, but he's a dirty dog, apparently.
Yeah.
Wednesday night, all of a sudden, I want to see JJ. And I told him, I said, I will never keep JJ from you. You can come see whenever you want to. Come take him to school, whatever. Like, I'm not going to do that.
So when you initially moved, he had.
Do what?
I said she's a good mama.
Uh-huh. That's
Oh,
yeah, you're so good that you let your daughter supposedly be abused for 14 years because you didn't want to deal with it.
Right.
It's really loud. I'm gonna turn it down for me. Okay.
Said he was going to buy you a house, so you moved here with your.
Yeah, he was going to rent us a house.
And so you moved.
All my family lives here, so we lived here for a long time.
Okay.
And then he moved us to Houston.
Okay.
And we were there with my son. He was out of school. He didn't have any of his like services, his DDD, his anything. He like ripped him out of school and said, we're moving.
Okay.
And I didn't go with him at first. And he took him. And I let him take him. And I didn't file anything or whatever. And then he filed something against me and said, I'm only going to get supervised visits because I'm crazy and blah, blah, blah. You know, the story. And so I just didn't talk to him for like.
We're just going to pretend that.
Did you expect us to let that one go? I'm confused.
You want the investigator to be all so crazy, you say. Okay.
Yeah.
Writing
Well,
that
I
down.
can tell, actually.
30 days and let him take care of him and let him see what I've been doing for the past 7 years, because men need to do that. You know, I have 5 kids, I have grown kids, I have grandkids. Like, okay, you're going to threaten me that you're not going to let me see my child without supervised visitation? Okay, do it for 30 days and see how long it lasts. You're begging me to come pick him up.
Yeah.
Which he did. It's just like, come back and whatever. So I moved in with them to Houston for the family, you know, and Tylee went with me. We drove to Houston from here.
Then you killed Tylee, but okay, I digress.
And left all our family and all his support, all my son's support, like his cousins, everything. And we were there, and I enrolled him in school there. I tried to start all his services, and it takes forever.
Yeah.
You know, it takes so long to get that done.
There's no easy transferring.
There's no easy transfer.
You start
State
from the
to
beginning.
state, it's a totally new thing. Yeah. And he didn't do any of it in those 30 days. So he just had gone without services, without even applying. And I'm like, do you even realize? Because he didn't ever do it in the first place. I did it. Long story. I'll keep it short. He hasn't been here in a couple weeks since we moved in. He came. He was very nasty when he was there.
Do what?
You can't keep it short, ma'am. We need the details. Come on now.
Yeah. You cut out the part where he was Ned, right?
Right. When did he change his name to Ned? So let's start there.
Jeez.
but he travels for business. So he went back to the Houston house,
Okay.
and he's like, I'm coming on Wednesday night, and I'm gonna come pick up JJ and take him to school Thursday, pick him up Thursday, take him Friday, whatever. And I said, Casey wanted to come to the house, and I said, you can't come stay at this house because you can't get along with Tylee. She's a minor, she has to live here.
Yeah.
So because he gets in huge fights up there,
Okay.
and she hates him. And so I'm like, you can't stay at the house, so I will book you a hotel, because he stays in hotels all the time because he travels for business, and the business pays for it, right? So I said, I will book you a hotel nearby.
What does he do?
He works with teachers in their retirement plans, but he goes to them at their school. He mostly works in California,
Okay.
no matter where we live. And we lived in Hawaii, he'd work in California, he'd work in Texas. He has like books of business in different areas. And so he just goes wherever.
Okay.
It kind of just gives him freedom that he doesn't have to stay home every day and take care of special needs.
Yeah.
It's like an excuse, right? So I've done that myself for the last 7 years anyway. And I was a single mom before I married him with my 2 kids.
Yeah.
And he had 2 kids. We got married, tried to make a family. You know, how it goes. Anyway. So he said he was coming last night. I said, well, you can't stay at this house because you can't get along with Tylee, and I'll get you a hotel and you can come play with JJ. But he goes to school all day.
Yeah.
I got him back into his school. His services, I met with the DDD yesterday, and they finally are getting his services back, but we're paying $125 a day to have him back in school because he's so out of his reach.
This is about the
Right? I'm telling you, girl, it's like this the whole time. Absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts.
And you hear
Right. She's just trying to stay cool, just trying to get some of the story.
Yeah.
Routine. He's been a nightmare on the floor, kicking stuff, hitting stuff, walls. Like, he just ripped him out of his life.
Yeah.
So, anyway, just how he is, because he only thinks about himself. So.
Damn.
He says, coming to get JJ, and JJ's like, I don't want Dad, because he knows Dad took him away. So he was freaking out, right? So I didn't tell him he was even coming. Like, Dad's going to come take you to school, I think. So he didn't bother me last night, which I was surprised. I was expecting kind of an ambush for him to kind of like come over or be just mean. And say, that's my house, I'm on the lease, I'm going to stay here, kind of thing. Because that's kind of his macho attitude. And so he came this morning, I was getting JJ ready.
So he got in last night, but he wasn't at the house last night.
Yeah, I didn't hear from him, except for he texted me and said, I'll be there at 7:30 to pick up JJ.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, that was good, because I didn't hear from him. And then he came over in the morning, and he's like banging on the door. I'm like, oh great, here we go, you know. And I was just gonna be nice. I'm just gonna be nice as possible. And I had JJ stuff all ready for school. And so,
do you remember about what time he got there?
He said he'd be there 7:30, but it was more like 7:40ish or 7:35. I don't know.
Okay.
But I remember thinking, looking at the clock, and he wasn't there at 7:30, and he's usually Mr. On time. Yes. So I was like, okay. And then JJ was like, oh, Dad. And then he was like, Mommy, and like ran to me and was like holding me. He's like, you're not taking me to school. And I was like, it's okay, Dad, can just drive you to school. It's not a big deal. You know, just trying to make it whatever. Calm. Yeah, calm. And then he was just being real smirky and real like jerky, you know, to me. And I was like ignoring him, whatever. And so he was like,
your brother lives there with you?
No.
Okay.
He had stayed with me last night because I was worried he was going to come over and cause trouble with me. And
what a coinky dinky, don't you think?
Right? Amazing how that works out.
Just wanted someone else there, like my brother there, because I trust my brother. And it's been a long story. Like, I had to go live at my brother's when he took JJ, and, you know, he's just been difficult. So, anyway. So I got JJ stuff ready. And he was like, well, and he's like this about timing. He's like, I'm leaving in 20 minutes because it's like 15 minutes to the school, and like you can't get there early. They don't open the gates until 8:20 or something like that. And I said, well, why don't you just go now? I don't want him in the house. I'm like, why don't you just go now and take him to Burger King because that's what he likes for breakfast. And he's very particular about food. Like, he wanted chicken fries for breakfast and a Sprite. Like, and I just give him what he wants, because if you don't give him what he wants, then it's like on the floor screaming, dragging him in, just going like, and he's big and he's heavy. And
maybe I haven't watched this before because I'm a little blown away.
So I said, just go. And so he said, okay. So I gave him a backpack.
Hold on, pause for a sec. I'm so sorry. I can't believe it's not evidence yet. Like, wouldn't they show this to the jury by now?
I would think.
I mean, it seems like it. We've always before. We've always seen the police
they just
interview.
haven't.
So I just kept thinking it's going to come eventually. It's going to show up, but
She is a big Mary widow. Yes, just so happy. Like, yep, da-da-da-da-da-da, and I got him some
Yeah,
chicken fries
absolutely.
too, and a Sprite.
isn't
Let's
she
see what a good mom I am.
Crazy. Yeah, she's absolutely nuts.
Yeah, why don't you just get to the part where that happened? I think that's what she wants to go over, not about the upcoming months.
Right. Nobody wants to hear about how unhappy. Well, I guess, but it's all evidence, I suppose, right?
Yeah, well, I guess how awful he was to Tylee and
Yes.
All right, this is his MO, right? He always leaves something in the house and comes back. He never leaves the first time. I always.
Except today, you wouldn't give him his phone. Remember?
Fucking crazy
Expect
person.
my husband to come back into the house, right? So I guess he had left his phone on the counter.
So he initially left with the backpack and with JJ? And
So he put them in the car,
okay.
in the driveway, and then he came back in, right? So I kissed JJ goodbye. He came back in, and his phone was on the counter, and I had his phone. And he was like, give me my phone. And I was like, why don't you show me your text that you've been texting, blah, 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 you know, whatever. Because he's like acting really weird, like he's plotting something against me. Like, I'm like, why are you even here? Like, what did you come here for? You know, he's been talking to my other brother, and my brother came into town at the same time last night. And I haven't talked to my brother in a while, my other brother. And I was like, and so he was texting him on the phone when he first got to my house. And I'm like, why are you texting Adam? Like, do you even talk to him? Like, my other brother. And, you know, he's been telling me all these texts, like, you're going down, blah, 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 blah. He's blaming me for our marriage breaking up and my niece getting divorced and my friend getting divorced. He said, I'm a destroyer of families because I want everybody to get divorced. I'm like, what would my motivation be for people getting divorced? So I can babysit the kids more? Like, why would I have any control over what people do?
Yeah.
So it's just very odd. But anyway, he goes nuts. He's gone nuts on us a lot of times. Tylee and I have had to leave with JJ over the years, probably 5 times, and just stay in a hotel for 2 days because he goes nuts. Like, you don't know what's going to set him off. Like, whatever. And she's mad at me for always, like, going back. But we had JJ, and he's special needs, and it's really hard. Like, it's even hard to take care of by yourself.
So when you say he goes nuts, that can mean a lot of different things.
Right.
So goes nuts like yelling and screaming.
Yeah,
goes
yelling and
nuts like
screaming,
breaking
like,
things.
yes.
Goes nuts like physical violence.
He's never really, besides, like, grabbing us and pushing us, but not, like, punching us or something. But with Tylee, he has gotten physical
Okay.
before. And with my grown son.
Like physical how?
Like, got into a physical fist fight with my son when he was 16.
Okay.
And he came after Tylee 2 times in Hawaii.
Okay.
And, like, went like he was going to hit her, but then I got in between them.
Uh-huh.
Right.
How old was she when that happened?
Probably 13 and 14.
Okay. So this morning he comes back in and...
He comes back in, I wouldn't give him his phone. He was screaming at me to give him his phone. He was very worried about whatever was on his text that he did not want me to see. And so I was just holding it there, and he was screaming at me. And I was kind of walking towards around the house with it, so he couldn't get it. He's like reaching for it and stuff like that. And so Tylee came out of her room upset, and she had a bat, and she told him to leave her mother alone, like, right? So she was really whatever, and he's screaming at her, don't you hit me with that bat, blah, 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 blah. And then my brother heard all the commotion because he was in there in bed, and so he came out into the main room. And,
right? It's hilarious. It's such a funny story.
And,
I just love I love it. It's so funny.
Yeah, my brother.
Meanwhile, her husband is dead on the floor at home. Like, it's I still can't believe I'm listening to this woman tell the story like this.
I guess whatever.
What's your brother's name?
Alex.
Alex, okay.
And then he just started, he was screaming and he was super upset and whatever, and he's yelling at Tylee, don't you hit me with that bat, and blah, blah, blah. And so Tylee, I guess, I don't know if she swung at him or what, but he like grabbed the bat from Tylee and then went to like hit Tylee with the bat. It was, and I was right there, they were right there, and my brother grabbed him from behind, like just to stop him from hitting Tylee.
You go like this, like he grabbed him, like
From behind, like just kind of to pull him back. And then they got into the thing, and he's hitting him with the bat, and they're on the ground, like grappling around or whatever.
That was his 1 inch little scratch he had on the back of his head getting hit with the bat. Sure,
Wow.
Jan. Sure.
And then, I mean, it was all
and he
quickly.
and he hit your brother with the bat while they were grappling and stuff.
Yes, he was hitting him with the bat, like swinging the bat, back and forth, and they were kind of like on the ground, and I was like freaking out trying to go around. No,
Warrior Grandma, we love you.
knowing JJ was in the car,
Yeah.
right? And so then he got up and he had the bat like this towards me, and I was going around the other side to try to just get out of his range where he couldn't hit me. And then I had told Tylee, because she was on the ground, because after he took the bat from her, she fell back. And so I told her, I was like, go get in the car with JJ. Like, I don't want JJ coming in to the house, and I wanted her out of the way. I wanted the kids out of the way, whatever this fight was going to be. And then,
do you remember what your husband or your brother were saying or yelling during all of this, if they were at all?
just kind of get off me, ow, or whatever. They were like, don't talk to my niece about it, whatever. Like, it was, I don't remember specifics, but they were kind of in the heat of it. I don't think there was many words that I remember.
So Tylee goes outside.
Yeah, she was outside.
And then what happened?
Then they got up from that, and my brother had stepped back, I guess, and then Charles was coming with me to that and yelling at me to give him his phone still, because I had it in my hand. It was all really quickly. And then when I went around kind of in the circle, then my brother was there.
When you said when you were going around and he was coming at you with the bat, how was he holding the bat?
Just like that, like backwards. In one arm.
Like he was swinging, but swinging it backwards. He would have done like
he would have swung it backwards at me, not frontwards.
Okay, yeah.
He was a professional baseball player.
Okay.
So it wasn't a good idea for Tylee to get out of that.
Probably not the.
I mean, he played semi-pro.
Yeah.
And he was, But
Joking, laughing along.
yeah, and then I was.
Yeah, this is right before he got shot. You ain't even gonna believe it.
He was a professional baseball player. What is happening?
Right. Right now, this investigator is questioning every decision she's made in her life.
Absolutely, yes, and wondering how in the world does she draw the short straw to interview this nut?
Yes.
I was kind of turned around, and we were all right there in that room, except for the kids had been outside by that time, and I heard the gunshot. And
so you heard the shot? Did you actually see the shot, or did you just hear it?
I had gone around to the kitchen to get away from him, and so back around. So I don't know if he went in the house.
I didn't, so I'm a little bit of a disadvantage.
Yeah, so I didn't see the shot. I heard it, and then I came back around and I saw that he was on the ground.
Okay.
And I was freaking out.
Yeah.
And so I was just freaking out, and it just went into mom.
This is like Cody Randy. She was freaking out.
Oh my gosh.
Not at all ridiculous.
I'm like, I've got to go to get JJ to school. I've got to get to the kids. I just feel like
I gotta get JJ. If my husband just said, I gotta get JJ to school.
I gotta get him to school. That's the priority.
I hope they show this.
I can't believe they haven't yet. Like, I've been waiting this whole time.
Especially since she acted so jealous over.
Yes. Because I saw this the other day, and I remember mentioning it to you, like, wait till they show this, because if we don't, then we're going to, because it's that good.
Wow.
Absolutely crazy, huh? Nutter.
Yes, where your grandma's too
I
sharp.
gotta get to the kids. And so I just went outside and to see if they were in there okay. I didn't want them coming back in the house when all that was going on. And got Gigi in the car and he was trying to come in and Tylee was like looking at me with like the crazy eyes, like what just happened? And I told her to get in the car and we're gonna take Gigi to school. And I just left.
When you came back in and you saw him on the ground, where was your brother? Did you see him where he was at?
Yeah, he was right in front of him.
Okay.
Like it all happened very quickly. That
Right.
was, I mean, I feel like I was there because I was right there and like a second later. Like
Okay.
I just went around the kitchen to get away from him.
Did your brother say anything to you at all? Do you remember?
No, we were both just in shock.
Okay.
Like it was just I mean, I didn't say anything. I went out with the kids just to check on them first and I was gonna come back in maybe, but I didn't. I was like, I just have to get him to school and call the police, come back, whatever.
Did anybody say did you or your brother say anything at some point about calling the police or calling 911?
See, that would have been in a normal situation if he reared back that bat to hit Tylee, that would have been the first thing that she should be doing, calling the cops.
Right. And probably one of the first things she would mention.
Right.
Like
But
when
no.
you're there to tell the story of what happened, and you've said nothing so far about why this happened. And supposedly it's a whole self-defense. You got a whole thing, right? So let's hear the story.
Right.
Self-defense from what? What was happening? Who did it? Blah blah blah. Nothing.
Do you remember?
Yeah, he called me.
Okay.
And he said, "Are you taking Gigi to school?" And I said, "Yeah, we need to call the police." And he said, "Okay."
Okay. So he called you when you didn't come back inside, basically?
Right.
Okay.
Because I was like in the car for a minute, and then I was like, "What do I do?" And I didn't want Gigi to go inside, and I didn't know what to do. And Tylee was freaking out. I was trying to get them away from the scene.
Understandable. And you may not know this, so, because I know you heard the shot, do you know at what point your brother had the gun? Do you know if he had it when they got in their first fight, or did he have to go get it, or do you know that at all?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
And do you remember if you ever heard your brother?
I didn't see him ever leave the room.
Okay.
So it was so fast. All that was so fast. Like him on the ground, rolling around, and I'm screaming. And
this probably happened in a couple seconds.
Yeah, I mean, it was like super fast.
Wait. Who's rolling on the ground? I thought she left the room.
Right. So were you rolling around screaming, or did you leave the room and your mom mode kicked in? And
Right. You're running your child off to school. I thought you left the room. All right, whatever. Keep going, lady. Weirdo.
the amazing thing is they got away with this.
Yeah, for a minute.
Yeah. Till when they started getting away with murder, they kept trying to get away with murder.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know this or not, does your brother normally carry a gun? Like, I carry a gun everywhere I go.
Right. Like, I know he's a gun person. Like, he has guns and things.
Okay.
He showed up guns.
Did you know that he had one with him?
No.
When he came over?
No, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Because he's
You didn't know.
very professional with guns.
Proficient, professional. Responsible is usually a good
Right.
but
Responsible with guns.
And then, do you
Actually, no, he died of natural causes.
remember if at any time, so you were trying to get away from him,
Right.
and you heard the shot. Prior to the shot, do you remember at any point hearing your husband or your brother saying anything to either of them?
No.
So my second very ridiculous question is there anything else that I didn't ask about or anything that we didn't cover that you think is important? I always ask that just because I wasn't there, and so we're going through something that happened a super small amount of time.
Yes. Can I
So,
step?
yeah, go for it.
Oh boy.
Just thinking.
Mhm.
Oh. You think your next tale.
Just that.
Has she yet to describe any kind of self-defense?
Just
mean-
that him and her brother and Charles was kind of like wrestling. I guess the self-defense came when he was getting hit with the bat. But she didn't even say she said her brother grabbed him by a neck. So when did he run get his gun? She didn't pull that in, or
Right. I feel like she's not telling any part of the story that would lead me to understand that this was self-defense.
right. I just don't see how they rode with this, but okay.
He was just
Right. They said Tammy Daybell was natural at first.
so angry, like super scary.
Did
You
you
know how
get,
you take your phone away from like a 16-year-old and
Uh-huh.
they freak out?
Uh-huh.
Like
Well, you know,
their world.
maybe you shouldn't be trying to snatch away your phone from your grown man husband.
Right. That
Like,
you
come
are
on.
separated from. Who cares what he's saying and doing?
Exactly. You're supposed to be getting a divorce. Who gives a shit? You didn't want to be with him. You said so yourself. 14 years I spent doing this. Why do you even need to look at his phone? Who cares?
It's like I've taken my phone away from a 16-year-old boy before, and he's like wanted to kill himself because like they kidnapped him. That's how it was. It was like, is something on his phone that he does not want me to see? That he was like freaking out,
Mhm.
like
How about none of
to
your
the point where
business?
I thought he would hit me in the back of the head to get the phone.
okay. So you thought,
No. He wouldn't have had the bat had Tylee not come out with the bat. So
I wonder if Tylee does an interview.
she
I
does.
know you I'd love to hear her interview too. Does she talk about the bat? Does she talk about that she came out with the bat to defend her mom?
She does. It's been a lot of years, but since I've seen it, I don't even know that I watched it all the way through because it was so confusing. But yeah, there is one on here with Tylee.
and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you thought it was possible that he was going to hurt you.
Absolutely, he was gonna hurt me and Tylee.
Okay.
Not JJ. He would never hurt JJ.
Okay.
And he hurt my brother. Like
Yeah.
he was going like ballistic about. It was bad.
Okay. I'm gonna go talk to her real quick.
Okay.
And then if obviously, we'll be here for a little bit, hopefully not too much longer. But if you think of anything or there's anything that kind of pops in your head or something else that we didn't cover, obviously. So I'm gonna go talk to her for just a little bit and then I'll kind of come back and check with you. And then we'll kind of go from there. So I know my partner's talking to your brother over in one of the other interview rooms. So we're going to just try to get, as much done as we can and go from there.
Okay.
Okay. And then is there anybody that you need to call or anything, or you want to wait a little bit?
I don't know what I would say.
And wait a little bit. We'll see.
Yeah. I don't know what I would say.
And if you want to, you can think about it. So we do have victim services that work within the police department. They're right over here. They're not cops, they're civilians. And they do, Jessica, who was out there with the fire department, so they're kind of our crisis response. They come right away. So our victim services that work in the department are kind of more long-term type support system. So they're just a really good resource because they do a lot of stuff with our families and things like that and can help with support services and questions you might have.
She's been through so much.
So it might be a good
I
idea.
just can't stand for her to have to go through all this.
Yeah, it might be a good idea maybe before I take you guys back today that I get one of them to come in and maybe sit and talk with you guys and see. And it's not something there's a bunch of stuff they can, offer. but it's good to have a contact and like a name and a face and a phone number.
Okay, good.
You know, that way maybe a couple days from now, a week from now, or if there's something going on or you think you need help with something, it may not be something that's necessarily up like me and my partner's alley, but it very much may be up theirs. So I'd like for you to meet one of them before we leave. That way, hopefully if there's something that they can help you and your daughter with, they can, or even JJ or whatever else.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I hadn't even thought about him.
Yeah. So.
I mean, he's used to him not being there, but he wouldn't understand even if you told him.
Right.
Like, that somebody passed away, he doesn't understand what
that means. Well, I mean, it's hard at 7 to understand that
Anyway, that's true, but with him, he just doesn't, which is probably better because he doesn't comprehend things, but I don't know, it's just, that's a lot to think about.
Yeah. So let me go find one of them, and then we'll make sure that you guys get to meet with them before you leave, because that might be something very helpful for you guys. And I'm going to go speak with your daughter for just a little bit, and we'll kind of go from there.
Okay.
Okay? And if you need anything, let me know, okay? Okay.
Like, they're so excellent.
What are you wiping, Lori? It's not a tear. The eye booger?
Right. And I think that's the end, honestly. I think she stays alone in there for the rest of the time.
That's what it.
Can we find JJ? Or not JJ. Can we find Tylee? Now,
Yeah.
is she later killed both JJ and Tylee?
Yes.
Wow.
Tylie first. I found it. It's really long though.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I wonder
Well,
if
this one
hers.
was long too, but it wasn't, you know?
Yeah. Let's see if it. How many peaks it has. All right, she's just sitting there by herself right now, so.
Right. See, that's what I mean. Like, this one was long too, but most of it was nothing. So
Yeah. Oh,
there we go.
Because it's super broad. But can you basically tell me what happened today? And you can start at whatever place makes sense for you to kind of start and explain. I'll probably kind of ask you questions as we go a little bit.
Okay. So I woke up probably around like 7:50, I want to say, because I heard yelling from like right outside my door. I don't even know where, but I immediately like jumped up, and I have a baseball bat because when I was living at my uncle's by myself, I just wanted something to like feel safer, and I'm not old enough to get like pepper spray or anything, so I was like, okay, I'll get a baseball bat. So I have that.
So your bedroom, you said right outside your bedroom door, and I didn't go in the house, so I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage. So what is your bedroom door open to?
My bedroom door open, so the room that my uncle was staying in, the room that's kind of like the guest room, if my room's right here, that's right there.
Okay.
And then my little brother's room, and then kitchen's kind of back here, so it's like a little hallway, and then right here is kind of where everything happened.
Okay.
Like the big, you walk in and
like big great room, kind of living room.
Yeah, right now it just has mirrors up because my mom wanted a dance room.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
Of course
kind of
she did.
unconventional, but
I mean, whose mom didn't want a dance room?
Right. Who doesn't have one now? Come on.
I mean, come on. Are you really living?
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I immediately just jumped up and I grabbed my baseball bat and I opened the door, and it was my stepdad, you know, outside the doorway, and then my uncle kind of in the doorway, and then I could hear my mom behind him.
Okay, so she, in her mom's version, Tylee came out first.
Okay.
So
already we're
And he
wrong.
was
yeah.
just screaming at both of them. Like, I don't even know what he was saying because honestly, I was just too like wired, I guess. So I told him to take a few steps back. I was like, "You're too close. You need to step back." And he was like, "Don't tell me what to do." And I just kind of just stood there. And then my uncle kind of moved out of the way, and then my mom kind of went past him and into like the big room.
Okay.
Where everything happened, and so I walked with them, and then
So they were more in the hallway.
Yeah, they were at like the end of the hallway,
Okay.
basically. And so my mom walked all the way around, and he kind of followed them, and I just kind of stood. My uncle was like right here, and then my stepdad right here, and then me and my mom were kind of right here. And I didn't do anything with the baseball bat. I kind of just held it there, and he was getting really close to my mom, so I kind of stuck it out like between them, and they were both just yelling, and he was like, "If you hit me with that baseball bat, you're gonna go to jail." And I just kind of stood there with the baseball bat, and I didn't really say anything.
When you said they were yelling, who was yelling?
It was mostly my stepdad.
Okay.
Well, he was really the only one like yelling. My mom was kind of like responding, but I honestly couldn't tell you what they were saying. It was kind of just like all jumbled up in my head. And so I just kind of stuck the baseball bat out there, and then he just grabbed it and tried to take it. So I held on to the end, and then eventually I fell, and he kind of took it into his hands like he was going to do something with it. And that's when...
So when you fell, he ended up with the bat?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I fell to the ground, and then my uncle kind of like... I saw him take a step back, so my uncle, I think, grabbed him and kind of took him back so he couldn't like do anything.
You saw your stepdad like take a step back?
Take a step back because he was really close to begin with, and then and so my mom said to go with JJ, and so I ran out the door, and then I kind of just stood there with my little brother. He was in the front seat.
No mention of her stepdad raising the bat up to beat her with it.
Not yet. Nothing. Yeah.
Of the car, and so I just kind of opened the door and just stood there, and like he was trying to get out, and I was like, "No, we have to stay. We have to stay in." And I was like, "Oh, like, I told him like, "Do you want to go in the Jeep?" And then he was like, "No." And then I realized that my car was blocked in, so I couldn't anyways. I was like, "Okay, like just stay here." And then eventually, my mom came out, and then we left from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what happened inside of the house? Has your mom kind of explained it all to you?
I just kind of asked her, like, because I heard a noise.
She didn't see anything.
She didn't see anything at all?
She didn't. I don't think she saw the gun, him being shot.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Which I know what it was now, but it sounded like, because I knew that the baseball bat was in there, it sounded like someone like took it and hit it really hard against the floor.
Okay.
And so I was kind of like Al's okay, right? Because that's my uncle. So I just wanted to make sure that like my stepdad didn't do anything to my uncle and stuff. And so she was like, "No, like Al's fine. Like we're just gonna take JJ to school." And I was like, "Okay." So I just got in the car, and then we went to Burger King because my little brother wanted breakfast, which was chicken fries for some reason.
Okay. I do dinner for breakfast all the time.
Breakfast for dinner and dinner for breakfast.
So to kind of back up a little bit, so you had talked about your stepdad, when you put the bat out, your stepdad was coming towards your mom. Can you describe to me a little bit better kind of what was going on there? Like, is there a reason you put the bat up?
Yeah, he was walking towards my mom, and I just didn't want him to do anything, so I kind of just stuck out the bat. Like, my mom was right beside me, and he was right there, so it wasn't, like, between them.
Okay.
It was kind of just, like, I just stuck it out to be, like, keep your distance, kind of.
When you say you didn't want him to do anything, what did you think he was going to do?
Hit her.
Okay.
Yeah, it's, for the most part, been pretty, like, mundane, but there have been a few like violent times with him when I was really scared that he was gonna hit me or hit my mom, like just because everything was kind of crazy. Me and him have always kind of not gotten along, like just since I was little. And so there have been a few times that we've gotten in fights and stuff like that. And so so I'm just kind of always scared of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so that happened, and he grabbed the bat from you. So kind of tell me that again real quick.
So I kind of stuck it out, and this is when he was like, if you hit me with that baseball bat, you're going to jail. And I didn't say anything because I'm like, okay. And so I'm holding it by like the end of the bat, like the place where you hold it. And so he kind of took it, and I kind of like lunged forward and kind of lost like my footing. And so my mom was like, just let go. And so, I kind of like slipped and I fell kind of on like my side.
Okay.
Yeah, and then from that, my mom said to go to the car, so I just got up and ran out the door.
Okay, did you see, when you fell towards your side, did you see what he did with the bat?
No, I wasn't really looking in that direction because from where I fell, the door was kind of more in my line of vision because I fell looking this way and the door was like right there, so I didn't look back.
So he was at a different line of sight than what you were looking at?
Yeah.
Okay. And then at some point you saw him kind of take a step back, and from what you're saying, and tell me if I'm wrong or not, you didn't necessarily see your uncle pulling back, but it seems like that maybe...
It seems like he wouldn't have taken a step back on his own, so it's more of an assumption than anything. I didn't see him physically take him back.
And does that make sense based on where your uncle was at that time?
Yeah, he was behind him because he wasn't on this side with me and my mom, so he was behind him. Okay. Because that's kind of just the order where everyone walked out.
And when that happened and then your mom told you to go, did you see what happened with your stepdad and uncle?
No.
Okay. And then once you went outside with your brother, you never came back inside?
Oh, I went to go get my mom's purse from inside so that we could have like her wallet and everything, but this was all happening, like I said, like in the bigger room right here. And so I went through the garage door, and so the garage door is right here, and then there's like a little hallway, and then this is kind of where everything is, and then this is my mom's room. Okay. So when I went in, I kind of like just tuned everything out, ran to my mom's closet, ran back, so I didn't see anything, I didn't hear anything.
When did you go back in and get her purse?
After my mom came out.
Okay. So after you heard that loud noise?
Yeah.
Okay. And when you heard the loud noise, was your mom outside or inside?
I'm trying to think. I think she was inside when it happened and the door opened like immediately after.
Okay. So very quickly after the door opened?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it wasn't like a long period of time because I remember not like thinking about it for that long, and if my mom hadn't come out immediately, I would have, been thinking about it for a lot longer than I had.
So obviously I don't know like your mom and stepdad and uncle like you do. I don't. So can you tell me kind of where the three of them were at kind of emotionally and how they were behaving when all this was happening?
When all this was happening or like before?
When all this was happening. So like when you came out of your room and he took the bat from you and...
Yeah, so my stepdad was like, he was like, I don't even know how to explain it. He honestly just looked like kind of a crazy person.
Okay.
Like screaming and like his face was beet red. He just looked like really mad. I remember when he took the bat from me, I saw his face for like a split second, and I honestly like, it didn't even look like him. He just looked like pure like rage. Like he was just seeing red. So I haven't really seen him like all the way like that before. That's like the craziest I've ever seen him. And then my uncle was kind of calm like not super calm. Obviously, it was like a stressful situation, but he's like, I don't know, he was kind of just standing there in the doorway, kind of just being protective of my mom, but he wasn't yelling or really saying anything.
Okay.
And my mom was just he was yelling and my mom was kind of just like talking.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But you don't remember, if you do, like what your mom was saying at all, or what he was mad about?
No, not really. I'm sorry.
Okay. It's okay.
Honestly, like
we're talking about something that probably happened over 2 seconds of time.
Yeah,
so.
honestly, it feels like 2 seconds and 40 minutes at the same time.
Yeah.
So I don't remember what they were really saying. I just kind of heard yelling over everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I kind of just do that whenever things are like really loud. I kind of just like tune what people are saying out, because I don't know, just yelling isn't fun, obviously, for a kid to hear. And with my biological dad, I always heard him like screaming and stuff, so I kind of just learned how to like tune it out.
So when you woke up to yelling, and you had said you weren't sure what they were actually saying, did you know who was yelling when you heard the yelling?
Yeah, I knew it was my stepdad. Well, at first I kind of didn't. Like when you first wake up, you're kind of disoriented. And then I remembered that my stepdad was like coming in to take my little brother to school today, so I immediately like knew it was him. And then my uncle I knew was staying, so I knew that was him. And then my mom, obviously, I knew that was her. Yeah.
And then, so you stepped out of your room and you took the bat with you. Is there a reason why you took the bat with you?
Honestly, I think that was kind of just like first instinct. Like obviously I didn't ever hit him with the bat or anything like that. It was kind of just for like security, I guess, to know that I had it. I didn't do anything with it. In hindsight, I probably just shouldn't have brought it out at all because it caused more trouble. But it was kind of just first instinct, and it was right by my bed. So I kind of just like jumped up and grabbed it.
So I'm trying not to put like words in your mouth and stuff.
You're good.
So was there something in particular that you were concerned about that you would have taken the bat with you?
Only if he had been violent towards like me or my mom.
I'm assuming you're talking about your stepdad?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to take the bat and like do something with it. It was kind of just like, I need something in my hands to like feel safer.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So my kind of second dumb question is, and I don't know that there necessarily is, but I always kind of want to make sure, is there anything that, we didn't talk about or I didn't ask you about, or anything that you think is important or anything that I should know? Because it's harder for you because you were there, and so I'm asking questions about something I didn't even see. So I just want to make sure like I didn't miss something or anything that you think I should know about.
That was pretty much it.
Okay. And if you think of something, in 5 minutes and tomorrow or whatever else, we can always talk again. It's totally fine. So, I talked to your mom about, we have some victim services people that work here. They're not cops. They're really good at what they do. So I really want your mom to talk to them, because I think it would be good that your mom has, and you guys have maybe some extra support if you need anything go moving on. So I'm going to check in with your mom real quick, and if she's good to go, then I'm going to introduce one of them to you guys. That way you guys can talk before I take you guys back. Okay? Sound fair? Okay. Do you have any questions for me at all?
No,
okay. If you do, let me know, okay? Okay.
Really, I don't. You didn't hear her say anything about him being abusive or.
No, not really. Weird, huh?
Funny how that happened.
Yeah. I felt like both of those interviews were bizarre.
And
then there's something weird about watching that interview, knowing that that little precious girl is dead now.
Yeah. And she had no idea what was coming for, what was going to happen. And that
so sad.
When she mentioned her Jeep, I got goosebumps because she sold, after they killed her, they sold her Jeep.
Her Jeep? How old was she?
I think, was she 17 when they killed her? 16 or
wow.
17.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or according to Lori, when it was a murder-suicide with her and JJ.
Sure, that makes sense. Do you want to watch any of today with her brother on the stand?
I do.
Okay.
Let's see. What was his name? It wasn't.
His name, I think,
Alan.
is Adam. And I was like, I didn't realize that she had another brother that started with an A. And so I was like, I thought this was the shooter. I thought he died. But no, she has another brother with a 4-letter name, that starts with an A.
It's Adam Cox.
Yeah, Adam Cox. Yeah.
Found it.
Very nice. Thank you.
I didn't. Oh, we could have done that. It's Charles and the cops, where he's telling them what's about to happen to him.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I could do that too.
Yeah. Well, we're all in this now.
Okay.
Sir, would you please
we
introduce
will
yourself
watch
to
it
the jury?
one day.
My name is Adam Cox.
How old are you, Adam?
You're an instructor.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I
I'm
meant
56.
And what do you
to turn up
currently
my
do
headphones.
for a living or for life?
I'm a pro pickleball player and instructor.
Where are you living now?
Goals.
Just what state?
I live in Arizona.
I know. I'm sorry. I told Ross that too. A pro pickleball player and instructor. And instructor, Randy. It's not just games.
That is a goal. I didn't even know that was a thing.
I didn't know you could do that, pro. That's impressive.
I'm gonna have to call Meech right now because I'm pretty sure he could go pro.
I don't even know what pickleball is.
It's like badminton and tennis mixed together, but it's a lot easier than. Oh, Adam was on Charles's side. Oh, wow.
Yes,
Back
yes,
in
that's the
July
part
of
that is
2019,
very
where
fun to
were you
watch.
living?
Wichita, Kansas.
Prior to your pickleball career, did you have a different career?
I did.
What was that?
I was a radio morning show host.
Oh, I can tell
Was
by
that
your
while you were in
voice, sir.
Wichita?
Yes.
Did that make you travel a lot?
Yes.
So I want to talk to you about your family first, okay?
Okay.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Southern California.
Okay.
He's all everybody
do you have any
does.
siblings?
Yes.
Yeah, y'all know.
Or
And-
4.
Everybody only wants to talk about my family.
siblings.
Can you tell us the names of
Talk
the
about
5
pickleball.
siblings you had growing up?
Stacy, Alex, Lori, and Summer.
For Alex, did people refer to him as Al sometimes?
Yes.
And for Summer, did people call her Sum?
Yes.
Were your sisters Lori and Summer close?
Yes.
I want to ask you about another family member. Back in 2019, Melanie Boudreaux. How is she related to your family?
Melanie is my oldest sister, Stacy's daughter. So she's my niece.
And was your sister Lori close with Melanie?
Yes.
Do you see your sister Lori in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Can you point her out and tell us what she's wearing?
She's sitting there wearing black blazer.
May the record reflect the witnesses identified the defendant.
Good job.
In July of 2019, was your sister married?
Yes.
Who was she married to?
Charles Vallow.
And so in July of 2019, was your sister known as Lori Vallow?
Yes.
Do you know approximately how long Lori and Charles were married?
I think over 10 years.
Okay. Do you know if your sister, since the passing of Charles, married Chad Daybell?
Yes.
Did Lori, your sister Lori, have any children from prior marriages before she and Charles got together?
Yes.
And who were those?
Colby and Tylee.
And were they from the same marriage?
No.
By July of 2019, was Colby an adult?
Yes.
Do you have a son? Zach?
Yes.
Did your son Zach ever live with Lori and Charles for a bit?
Yes.
Did he move in there after Colby moved out?
Yes.
In July of 2019, was Lori's other daughter, Tylee, still under the age of 18?
Yes.
Do you know whether or not Charles helped raise Colby and Tylee?
Yes.
Did you know if Charles had any children from prior marriage?
Yes.
Do you know if do you know how many children he had from a prior marriage?
I think 2.
Okay. And do you know if either of those 2 children lived with Lori or Charles?
Visited. I don't know if they ever lived there.
Did Lori and Charles have any kids together?
JJ?
Was JJ adopted? Okay. So did they adopt him together?
Yes.
Okay. So in 2019, did Lori and Charles have just JJ and Tylee as their kids living with them?
Yes.
Did Lori and Charles always live in Arizona?
No.
Where else did you know them to live?
Texas and Hawaii.
Okay. We had talked about your brother Alex or Al. Were you close with your brother Alex?
Somewhat.
Do you know where Alex was living in July of 2019? What state?
Arizona.
And can you describe your brother Alex's relationship with your sister Lori? Were they close?
I mean, I don't know if close is the word I would use growing up, but
Describe
just
for us.
normal brother-sister relationship, I guess.
As they became adults, did they continue to be close, or what do you recall of their relationship?
Yeah, but the last, I guess 4 or 5 years,
The last 4 or 5 years between them was what?
they were closer, they were close for like a year and a half, is what I remember.
Before this happened?
Yeah, they became oddly close for a while.
How about
That's interesting.
the relationship between Charles and Alex?
I'm a liking this
Do you
fellow.
recall what that was
Yeah,
like?
he's good.
Just a normal brother-in-law relationship, I guess.
Did you ever know them to do things just the 2 of them?
No, I don't have any knowledge of that.
Did your family sort of do a lot of big family events where everyone might be together?
Yes. Yeah.
Birthday meals, holidays?
Yes.
Adam, did you grow up a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints?
Yes.
And are you still a member of that?
Yes.
At some point, was your brother Alex excommunicated?
Yes.
Do you recall when that was?
I think he was excommunicated twice. So I'm not sure the dates or when that happened, but when he was an adult.
In 2019, was he still excommunicated to your knowledge?
Yes.
What does that mean to be excommunicated?
It means that you do certain things to where the church it takes away your membership from the church.
Are you able to go to temple if you're excommunicated?
No.
Is that important?
Going to the church in our faith is important. Yes.
Let's talk about your relationship with Charles Vallow. Did you and Charles ever text?
Yes.
Did you and Charles ever talk on the phone?
Yes.
When Lori and Charles were married, were you aware that Charles would pay for things for the family, like cell phones?
Yeah, I heard that there's people in our family that they're on his business self plan.
Or car insurance?
Don't know about car insurance, but
You knew about the cell phones.
yeah.
Did you know what Charles did for a living?
Yes.
What was it?
He sold insurance.
Did you know what kind of insurance?
No, he explained it one time, but he was doing something with school teachers or helping them with their situation.
Did you know whether or not Charles traveled a lot for work?
Yes.
Was he traveling to other states?
Yes.
And was that sort of throughout his marriage with Lori?
Yes.
Were you aware of whether or not your sister Lori worked prior to marrying Charles?
Yes.
Do you know what kind of work she did?
She was a hairstylist.
After she
And not a
married
very good one, may I
Charles,
add.
did she continue to work outside the home?
At a hair salon?
Yeah.
No, not that I know of.
Was it your understanding Charles worked so she could take care of the children?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
So you were unaware of her doing any sort of outside work like she had done prior to being married to him?
Yeah, I don't know any of that.
At some point, did you learn or become aware of the fact that Lori and Charles were having some marital problems?
Yes.
Just yes or no, did you ever talk to Charles about why he and Lori were having marital problems?
Yes.
You yourself personally, were you aware of Lori having any beliefs that were outside of what is accepted by the LDS religion?
Yes.
Can you tell us what you were aware of that you knew to be outside the LDS religion?
Lori told me that she was in the process of translating from a mortal human being to an immortal human being, a celestial state.
Oh,
That's something that the LDS religion supports?
I haven't heard of
say
it
that like it's not
that it's
insane.
happened here.
I love it.
I really like this fella.
I know. I told you it was good. I told you it was starting to get good.
Yes, he is so done with his sister.
Absolutely. He is
Yeah.
so done with her shit.
Did you ever hear her talking about being married to someone that is relevant in your religion?
Yes, I have heard that.
Did she tell that to you?
I don't know. I can't recall her telling me that, but I remember other people telling me that.
Okay. Was there anything else that you recall her telling you that she believed that seemed outside the LDS religion?
Yes. There was a time where she told me that she had more priesthood authority than the priesthood.
And why, can you explain for us what that means, why that was significant to you?
In our religion, the men hold the priesthood, and she said that she's in a state where she's above that. I didn't
Nice.
quite understand it, but very strange.
Did you confront her about these beliefs?
Confront her? No.
Did you discuss with her about these beliefs?
I just let her say what she wanted to say.
Ah!
Was there ever a conversation where,
They look alike.
when she was telling you these things, where she asked if you thought she was crazy?
Yes.
How did you respond to that?
I said, I don't know if you're crazy, but what you're telling me is not true. It's not real.
After you said that, what happened to your relationship with Lori?
She stopped talking to me.
Were you ever aware of Lori believing that people could be dark or possessed by evil
Did
spirits?
you think
And
you're
I
lucky
bet-
stars? And did you think you're lucky stars, sir? Yes, I sure did.
Yes. Well, I got $20 that says he was on the dark list.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yep. Bad news. Bad news.
I later have learned that, yes.
Did you ever try to tell your family about the beliefs that Lori had expressed to you?
Yes.
What was your family's reaction?
One of the reaction was she's in a delusion. Let her do whatever she's doing and she'll come out of it at some point.
Oh, yeah, that's how
How
delusion
did
works.
this impact your relationship with your family when you're bringing up these concerns about Lori?
They basically cut me off.
Oh.
So
Wow.
you bringing up your concerns about Lori's beliefs being at odds with the LDS religion sort of terminated your good relationship with your family.
Yes.
That's sad.
Shame on you, family.
I know, for real. Especially because she's a whole ass nutter and you guys all know it.
And what are you thinking now that she's killed all these people, that she's innocent?
Right. Right. What are you guys doing with that information? I'd love to know.
Yeah. Are y'all back hanging out with Alan here? Seems like a good Adam. Well, a good guy.
I know. It's the only decent one among you.
Yeah. And he plays pickleball. Fun.
And teaches.
And he teaches it. And I bet he wears shorts while he's doing it.
That's right. Sure it is.
At
Sure
the
it
end
is.
of June
Yeah.
of 2019, do you recall Charles sending,
Yeah, I know that he played minor league baseball.
and in this email was the person pretending to be Charles asking about writing a book about his career?
Yes.
Was that something you knew Charles was not interested in?
No, he's not or wasn't.
After you saw those emails that Charles had forwarded to you, where someone was reaching out to Chad, were they inviting Chad out to Arizona?
Yes.
After reading that and getting that forward and talking with Charles, did you believe that Lori was having an affair with Chad Daybell?
Yes.
Did you and Charles spend time talking about that?
Yes.
Was he kind of, I guess, in a tailspin? I'm not sure the best words to say from learning that.
Yeah, he seemed a little desperate.
Did Charles have some idea on how he thought he might be able to get Lori back into the LDS faith?
Yes.
What did you understand that to be?
Charles just thought that Lori was going overboard and that she was going to the temple like 5 times a week, and that's not normal in our religion, and that she was going a little off the wall. So he figured that if she got her temple recommend taken away from her, that she would come back to normal, who she was before she started in all this things that she was believing.
Now, you told us that you had heard yourself some ideas by Lori that were outside the LDS religion. Did Charles also tell you about other things that she had told him?
Yes.
Okay. And so did you talk with Charles about something that we'll term an intervention?
Yes.
What did you mean by an intervention?
Intervention means Charles he's kind of desperate because nobody in our family would talk to him. I'm sure that, Lori had told people in our family not to talk to him. So he thought that, having an intervention would be getting in front of her, recording her, giving it to the stake president, or having the stake president hear what she was talking about and hear the crazy things that she was saying.
So the intervention was part of the way to try to get her to come back to the mainstream LDS beliefs.
Yes.
Did Charles ask you to help him with this intervention?
Yes, he did.
Did you guys have a specific plan, like on X date at X time, we're going to do this?
No.
Had you talked to Charles about potentially going to Lori's and recording her on your phone?
Yes.
Did you talk to Charles and text him about another idea of having a family dinner and again, recording her so that you could play that for the stake president?
Yes.
We're using a term there, stake president. Who is that? What is that in your religion?
Well, in our religion, we have our churches organized where we have wards, and then there are 4 or 5 wards that are in a stake, and then there's a president of the stake, and so it's somebody who's in charge of everybody in the stake.
Okay. So someone that's pretty high up in the church.
Yes. Yeah.
And so the idea was to bring any of these recordings to show she's saying these things to his attention.
Yes.
And again, the point of that whole was to just try to take away her temple recommend.
Yes.
So on July 9th of 2019, did Charles talk to you about him flying you out so that you can help him with this intervention?
Yes, he did.
And did he offer to purchase your flight
Yes.
to bring you to Arizona?
Yes.
At that time, did your parents live here in Arizona?
Yes, they did.
At that time, was Lori here in Arizona?
Yes, she was.
And you told us your brother Alex was living here as well at that time?
Yes.
Was your sister Summer also living here at that time?
Yes.
And after Charles purchased your tickets, did you reach out to anyone in your family to ask if you could stay with them?
Yes.
Who did you reach out to?
Alex, my brother.
And did he offer to let you stay with him?
Yes, he did.
Were you supposed to fly in on the next day, July 10th?
Yes.
So your understanding was when you flew in on the 10th, you'd reach out to Alex and you'd spend the night there.
Yes.
Did you end up staying with him?
No, I did not.
So when you landed in Phoenix on July 10th of 2019, do you recall what time of the day it was approximately?
Sometime around lunch.
Okay. And did you reach out to Alex?
Yes, I texted him as soon as I landed.
Did you get a text response back?
No, I did not.
Was that unusual?
Yes.
So he's expecting you, right?
Yes.
Did you try calling him?
Yes, I did.
Did he answer your phone?
No, he did not.
Again, was that unusual to you?
Yes.
Did you think anything was odd at that time?
Yeah, at first I was like, he can't be that busy. He knows I'm coming.
Did Alex ever respond to you on the 10th?
No.
So he ghosted you.
Yes.
What did you think when you didn't hear back from Alex?
I just thought it was very strange and bizarre.
Okay. So you were supposed to be staying at Alex's when you talked to him on the 9th. Did Alex ever text you between when you guys talked and when you landed saying, I'm going to go stay at Lori's?
No.
Did Alex ever call or text you and tell you, you know, I can't have you stay with me. I know I initially said okay, but not anymore.
No.
So he just ignored you.
Yes.
Where'd you end up staying?
My mom and dad's house.
Okay. On July 10th, did you understand Charles was also flying into Phoenix?
Yes.
Did you see Charles on the 10th?
No, I did not.
Did you see your sister Lori on the 10th?
No, I did not.
So you told us you stayed with your parents. What did you do on the 10th?
They picked me up and we went to lunch. And then we just, I think, hung out at the house.
You said your son Zach lived here at the time?
Yes.
Who was he living with at that time?
I think he was living with my mom and dad.
Okay. So although you didn't talk with Charles on the 10th, did you have an understanding of what he was going to do the morning of the 11th?
Yes.
What was that?
He was going to go pick up JJ, his son. It was his turn to, I guess, have him for a few days or whatever.
Were Charles and JJ really close?
Yes.
So the morning of July 11th, you were not expecting to get together with Charles at 7 in the morning, right?
No.
Did you get a text message from Charles?
Yes, I did.
And did you learn where Alex was?
Yes, I did.
Where did you learn Alex was?
Alex was at Lori's house.
When you learned this, was Charles texting you sort of in real time as he is coming to the house,
Yes.
explaining to you what he's seeing and what's going on?
Yes.
And are you responding back to him?
Yes.
So you're at your mom and dad's house when you start getting these text messages from Charles.
Yes.
When you learned that Alex was at your sister's, what were you thinking?
I just thought something weird is happening because he never answered my text the whole day I was there, never returned a call. And then all of a sudden he said he's at Lori's house. And I didn't even know what to think at that point. I thought something was off.
So immediately you knew something was off.
Yeah.
From the prior day where Alex ghosted you to now he's at your sister's that morning when Charles was going over to pick up JJ.
Yes.
Were you concerned that Alex was at your sister's house?
A little concerning. Yes.
Have you seen text messages that you and your brother-in-law Charles had sort of making the flight reservations and leading up to the morning of the 11th?
Yes.
And were those all messages that you two had as you're trying to figure out how to have this intervention?
Yes.
And then ultimately what you are seeing and saying that morning at 7:30 in the morning?
Yes.
And I've shown defendant exhibit 210, if I can have a paralegal approach with that. Adam, if you can take a look at those and let me know if you recognize those as text messages that you had with Charles, sort of the 9th, 10th, and 11th, as you are interacting leading up to that morning and including the morning of the 11th.
Yes.
Your Honor, the state will move to admit exhibit 210 pursuant to 8031 as present sense impressions.
Yes, Your Honor, we object in lieu of that is a report and not the full extraction.
All right, well, May I see that particular objection wouldn't prohibit admission. It would go toward weight, but give me a second here.
That's what we call a swing and a miss, Miss Vallow.
Nice try though. I bet she was excited too. I'm gonna sound so smart.
All right. I'll admit 210.
And if I may publish it, then, Your Honor. And if I could have the elbow, thank you. Adam, I'm going to start sort of going back to in Exhibit 210, the conversations that you and Charles were having as you're trying to come up with a way to have this intervention, all right? So you learned that Charles was reaching out. Well, let me ask you this. You had learned from Charles about this fictitious email, correct?
Yes.
Did you learn that Charles had reached out to Lori about it?
One more time.
Did you learn that Charles had reached out to Lori about this email?
Yes.
Did you learn that he had reached out to Chad Daybell's wife about it?
I think I remember that.
Was he, these are text messages. Were you also receiving emails from Charles?
Yes.
Does this sort of array of messages start to involve where you and Charles are talking about having you come out to Arizona to help with this intervention?
Yes.
And so do we see on the 9th, you letting him know that you could fly out tomorrow and come home Saturday or Sunday?
Yes.
Do we see as you continued on, he tells you that he could fly you in on Southwest, and he's telling you he's just right now landing in LA, right?
Yes.
And you knew he traveled a lot for work.
Yes.
When we get to the 9th at 9:11 a.m., did you get a message from Charles about how you were going to get everyone together without Lori knowing that you're going to have this intervention?
Yes.
And is that one of the ideas where you indicated that I'll go see Lori at her house and have a talk with her and keep your phone on record?
Yes.
So that was sort of one idea of a potential way to show the stake president that she was having these ideas outside the LDS faith?
Yes.
Does Charles kind of tell you he's not sure that that's really going to work?
Yeah.
He says, I think she'll leave, but it's worth a try.
Yeah.
Did you then suggest also have a family dinner with everyone? And then say, always leave my phone on to record what I say and what everyone else says?
Yes.
And then you go on to say that's to have proof for Holmes. Who's Holmes?
President Holmes. He was our stake president, or their stake president.
You were in Wichita, but he was the stake president here.
I lived here before, and he was in my ward, so I know him.
So when you're talking about the stake president, Holmes is who it actually is?
Yes.
Okay. On the 9th, does Charles tell you that, got it, but honestly, if you, Zach, Brandon, and me go to him, that should be enough? She will feel like we ambushed her, but something has to be done. She'll be real careful what she says. Had you brought Brandon into this yet? Like, did you have a plan to have him come with you?
No, but Brandon played basketball with us on that night. So me and Zach and Brandon played basketball where President Holmes played basketball at a church. So that was that reference.
Okay. So you thought if we go to the church, Brandon will be there and he can help you.
Yeah,
talk about
say
this.
that. Yeah.
Okay. But Brandon's not part of this conversation right here, right?
No.
Then does it kind of go back to Charles asking for your information so he can make your flight reservations?
Yes.
Okay. Then at 1:13 p.m., does Charles let you know that your flights are booked and that he emailed that to you?
Mm-hmm.
And then does he go on to say, I'm really uneasy about how she will respond, not only to you, but to me and Zach and Brandon, right?
Yes.
In talking with Charles and this intervention, was there a constant concern of how she would respond to trying to take away her temple recommend?
Yes.
Was some of that based upon your understanding of the things she had said to Charles in the past?
That and others. Apparently Lori was flighty. When Charles served her, tried to serve her divorce papers, she disappeared and nobody knew where she was. So in Charles's mind, that she could be flighty and just take off again, where nobody would know where she is. So there was some definite reference to that as well.
Okay. Then it goes on to say, I'll pick up JJ and take him to school. So you knew what he was doing that next morning, right?
Yes.
And you said she'll be there, right?
Yes.
Friday the same. So you knew his idea was he was going to be with his son in the mornings, Thursday and Friday.
Yes.
And then you said she'll be highly suspicious about recording. If you can bring a second device and put your phone on the counter or turn it off, it might help. Is that sort of the same idea that he was unsure that she would trust you showing up there and trying to ask her about those things?
Yes, this was all just it seemed like Charles was just desperate, and he wanted to do anything he could to, this last ditch effort to try to shake Lori loose of whatever she was under, some spell that he said. So, that's basically what happened.
And then does he go on again to talk about that he really thinks the only thing that's going to break her out of this is going to Holmes?
Yeah. Yes.
And that she's hurting too many families and that he's upset his is gone.
Yes.
Does he say that he still loves her?
Yes.
And does he think that she's basically potentially gone forever?
Yes.
And then we see that he corrected slots to Lori, right?
Yes.
Typo?
Yes. Lots of typos.
On July 10th at 3:34, do you get a text from Charles asking if you're in Phoenix?
Yes.
And do you respond, yes, you're going to Summers, and that you'll call him?
Yes.
And then does Charles let you know he's got a meeting, but he'll try to call you before he goes to see Lo? Who is Lo?
Lo is Lori.
So people would call her Lo or Lolo?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Seems about right.
I think they mean Lulu.
Did
Delulu.
if you talked to
Short for
Charles
Delulu.
on the 10th,
Delolo.
On the 10th? What day was that?
the day before? So when you flew in, did you ever talk to Charles?
No, I don't remember talking to him then.
So even though you guys had attempted to call, you don't recall if you ever spoke with him that evening or?
Hey, more than enough.
Right.
She's doing the same.
So at this point, you'd said you went to Summers in the text messages, and then later you stayed at your parents for the night.
Yes.
And then you knew that Charles would be going to pick up his son the next morning. Did you assume that you and Charles would meet up or talk sometimes later that day?
I figured so.
Okay, but you had no scheduled timeline for
Nothing
that?
planned.
Okay. So next in Exhibit 210, we see text messages from July 11th of 2019 at 7:35 a.m. where Charles texted you, Al is here. And then just a couple seconds later, he said at Lori's. Was this shocking to you?
Yes.
And what did you respond back? Did you say, really, I wonder why he never called me back?
Yes.
And then we see that you wrote at 7:36 and 28 seconds, they are planning something. Why did you write that?
Because Alex not answering his phone the whole day and me calling him and texting him, not knowing where he's at. Nobody in my family said they heard from him or knew where he was. All that is very suspicious to me. And then Alex being at Lori's house that morning felt like something was really off.
So when you told Charles they're planning something, Charles responded back, absolutely. Did you then let him know that you were supposed to spend the night at Alex's house? She probably blocked that.
Yes.
Did Charles respond to you, what you do is up to you?
Yes.
So were you kind of upset at your brother for telling you you could stay with him and then ghosting you, ignoring you?
Yes.
Were you upset at him for being at Lori's house when Charles was going there just to pick up JJ?
Yes.
Did you Then text him, I'm going to put the pressure on to have him come get me right now, see what he says.
Yes.
Did you in fact text your brother?
Yes.
Did he respond back?
No.
As we're going along here, we see that each of these are being read sort of in this short period of time, these couple minutes that Charles is here as he's driving in. After you texted him about putting the pressure, texted Charles about putting the pressure on to have him come get me right now, did you then say okay to Charles?
Yes.
And then we see again that at 7:49:34 a.m., you texted Charles, me and Zach are going to the stake center tonight at 8 to play basketball. Holmes is always there, either playing ball or interviewing people. I will try to catch him and have a conversation with my old friend.
Yes.
What was that about?
That was just part of the plan that Charles initially came up with to somehow get in front of the stake president. So that night, he's the stake president. He interviews people for Temple Recommends and also plays basketball afterwards. So that was just a thought of maybe this could be something that we could do to help with that situation.
Okay. Now, up until 7:37 and 7, you had been interacting with Charles, right? You would respond and you were getting some text messages back from him.
Yes.
We see after 7:37 where he texts you, what you do is up to you, that he didn't respond back to any of your other comments, right?
Right.
So when you sent him at 7:37 and 29 seconds that you're going to put the pressure on him, you meant Al?
Yes, Alex.
To come get you. Charles didn't respond to that?
No.
And in fact, it shows that that message was read at 12:13 p.m. versus the earlier messages that were read sort of right in time.
Mm-hmm.
Is that yes?
Yes.
And when you told Charles that you and Zach were going to go to the stake center to play basketball and see if you could find Holmes, did you get a response from Charles?
No.
And again, we see that that was read at 12:13, correct?
Yes.
Did you go talk with Holmes that night?
Did
I
they
went
say
to go play
12:13
basketball, but he
p.m.?
wasn't there.
Was it just you and Zach?
Yes.
In the day?
Yeah, like the next day?
I'm not sure. You may bump it.
No, it's okay. I was just curious. Like
During the
Hey, Mayor's daughter. Good to see you. Off topic. I pay. All right. I just paid my house off. I paid for it all by myself, debt free. Woo, lavender.
oh my goodness.
Oh, what a good feeling.
Congratulations. That's incredible. Congratulations, honey.
Yes.
day of July 11th, at any time, did you learn that Charles Vallow had been shot?
No.
So Lori did not call you and tell you that Charles had been shot?
No.
Alex didn't call you to tell you that he'd shot your brother-in-law?
No.
Anyone in your family talk to you about it?
Nope.
How about the next day, Friday, July 11th? Did Lori tell you Charles had been shot?
No.
Alex contact you to tell you that he'd shot Charles?
No.
Anyone in your family talk to you about that?
No.
Did you decide to go visit a friend in Tucson on Saturday the 13th now?
Yes.
What were you going down there for?
Going to see my friend Eric.
And did anyone come with you?
Yes, Zach did, my son.
Okay. When you went down there, did you talk with Eric about what's going on?
Yeah, I just thought it was really fishy that I heard from Charles. And I didn't know if he took JJ and just was having one-on-one time with JJ. I didn't know if Lori and him were getting back together and Lori told him not to talk to me. Or my mind was spinning. Like I had no clue what was going on.
Had you talked to any of your family about it? Were you still keeping that intervention thing secret from them at that point?
No, at that point, but I think my nobody had heard from. I asked if anybody had heard from Alex, and nobody said that they heard from Alex in my family. But at that point, I was there spending time with my son Zach, also to help Charles with what he wanted to try to get an intervention with Lori. and also to see my friend Eric, because I live in Wichita. So I was trying to do 3 things at one time on my short visit.
So on the 11th or 12th, though, were you still keeping that sort of secret that you and Charles had been wanting to do an intervention on Lori?
Yes.
You weren't telling your family, like, I don't know why we're not doing this.
Charles asked me not to tell anybody.
And was that actually sort of a message you guys had talked about of who in your family might be, might prevent any type of intervention?
Yes.
And who in your family were you guys concerned with if they learned about the intervention might try to stop it?
Mom and Dad, Summer,
Alex too?
Alex. Yes.
So even though you're here and you're seeing your family and you're seeing your son, you don't want to tell them a lot about Charles because you're trying to still keep that quiet in case he does want to go forward with it.
Exactly. Yes.
So you're in Tucson and you start talking to your friend about Charles.
Yes.
Do you learn at some point that Charles has been killed?
Yes. I was talking with Eric saying it just something doesn't feel right. I haven't heard from Charles, and usually he would text me or send me a message or something. And then Eric asked me, he goes, well, what's his last name? And I said, Vallow. And he was on his computer and he just Googled Charles Vallow. And he said it popped up that he's been killed by his brother-in-law.
So you
Wow.
learn this. What is going through your mind now?
Just everything, chaos. I just knot in my stomach. Just probably one of the worst feelings I've ever felt in my life.
Obviously, you had been concerned that something was being planned when you told Charles that on the morning of the 11th, right? But
Well,
not that.
Not that, but yeah, it felt like something was off. That why Alex would be at Lori's house that morning.
Did you know your brother Alex to carry guns with him?
Yes.
Did he regularly go shooting with guns?
Yes.
Prior to Charles being shot and killed, did you ever tell Lori that you were going to be trying to do this intervention with her?
No.
Prior to Charles being shot, did you ever tell Alex, hey, I'm going to stay with you, but we're trying to do an intervention with Lori?
No.
What about your parents? Did you ever tell them you were going to try to do an intervention?
No.
Your sister Summer?
No.
So if your sister told detectives a couple hours after Charles was shot that she was confronting Charles about you and Charles talking and texting, it wasn't something that you told her about?
No.
You told us that you are LDS. Have you ever taught Sunday school?
Yes.
I know
You tell us
Lori.
about the story of Nephi.
Nephi?
Mhm.
Well, Nephi was a prophet in the Book of Mormon. It's the first chapter. He was a prophet, very humble and faithful servant of the Lord. Ironically enough, his brothers tried to kill him at one point. But he actually ended up going to Jerusalem to get these plates back. And he was run off, came back, and then went back again because the Lord asked him to. And when he did, the King Laban, who was actually a wicked king, was laying on the ground drunk in front of him. And Nephi was told to kill Laban.
Who was he told by?
The spirit, or God.
So God was using a Holy Spirit to tell him to kill Laban, and
Yes.
did he?
Yes, he did.
Was that something he anguished over?
Yes.
But ultimately, it was a justified killing.
Yes.
So was the concept that it was better for Nephi to kill this one evil man and sort of benefit the nation and his descendants?
Yes.
Were you aware that that your sister had told people that Charles was possessed by evil spirits?
Yes.
Were you aware that your sister had told people that your brother-in-law Charles was dark?
Objection. Calls for hearsay.
It's whether or not he was aware of it.
Whether or
Yes
not
or
he's
no?
aware, he can answer yes or no.
Yes.
When you and Charles were talking about this intervention, were you trying to help your sister come back to mainstream LDS beliefs?
Yes.
So it wasn't just Charles, but also her.
Yes.
You told us that your friend had Googled and learned that Charles was killed. Did you know at that time it was by your brother Alex?
That's what the article said. So yes, he told me that.
What did you do after you learned that?
Freaked out for a little bit, cried, didn't know what to do. Thought my world was coming apart. Then I got angry a little bit, and then called my. I think first thing I did, I called Kay, who's Charles's sister, and asked her, because she's the only one that I felt safe calling after knowing my family was involved in this or thinking of this. That I asked her if she knew that Charles was dead, and she said she just learned of it too.
Did you learn from your friend when? Because it's now the 13th when you learned this, right?
Yes.
Did you learn when that happened?
Yes, I did.
So you knew on that Saturday, the 13th, that Charles had been killed that morning
Yes.
of July 11th.
Yes.
Did you ever come back to Phoenix and confront anyone in your family about this or talk to them about it?
Yes. After I talked to Kay, then I called my mom and asked her if she knew that Charles was dead. And she said yes. And I said, what's going on? And she said, you tell me what's going on. And at that point, I thought that was bizarre that she would say that. So I said, well, we need to sit down and talk. And she said, yes, we do. And so me and Zach got in the car and drove back to Phoenix.
Did you go to your mom's house?
Yes, I did.
Did that conversation go well?
No.
Did this create a break in your relationship with your mom?
Yes.
Did you stick up for Charles?
Yes.
Did sticking up for Charles create issues between you and most of your family?
Yes.
Did you continue to stick up for Charles even with that happening?
Yes.
After you had that argument with your mom, what did you do?
Me and Zach left her house and we were staying at Summer's house, my sister, who was away on vacation. And we were staying at her house and we went back to her house. We were watching her dog.
You were supposed to leave the next morning, Sunday, to go back to Wichita. Did you return back home?
Yes, we did.
Did your son go with you this time?
Yes, he did.
After this whole incident happened, did you not talk with your family for a long time?
Yes.
Did it cause a lot of friction in your family?
Yes.
Have you started to try to talk with your family some?
Yes.
I have no other questions, Your Honor.
Cross?
Mr. Cox, how long has it been since we've seen each other in person?
Don't know.
When was the last time you saw me?
He doesn't
just-
know. He just said he doesn't know.
So,
Oh, I hate that she does that, man.
Yeah.
has it been a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 6
Something like
years,
that.
7 years, 8 years?
No.
Okay. So you have no idea.
Nope.
You have no idea when the last time you saw me in person.
No. Oh
I
my
don't know
God.
The year or how many years it's been.
Okay. So did you see me at Colby's wedding in January 2018?
No, I was not there.
You didn't come to Colby's wedding.
No, I did not.
So did you see me sometime that year at my house
Possibly.
doesn't
where
know.
Colby got married?
He already
That
said he
house.
doesn't know.
I
Stop
did see
it.
you at that house. Yes.
At least one time.
Yes.
So possibly in 2018.
Yes.
And when was the last time we had any communications?
The last time I remember our communications was you and I were speaking in the kitchen when the family was over.
Okay. So you think that was that time in 2018?
I think so.
Okay. And were we eating my green chili chicken enchiladas?
Do not remember that.
God.
No. Are you what?
You do not remember that?
Objection. I'm
That I
being
made every time we had a family get together, which was like 10 times a year.
What do you mean you
don't
don't
remember
remember
that.
my gooey enchiladas?
When was the last
Yeah,
time that
it's
we
like
had?
the ones I made every time, like 10 times a year.
I'm famous for them. Everybody loves them.
I have to go back to the prison and make them when I get there.
I'm trying a new recipe where I use toilet water instead of green chili sauce, but it's all right.
phone call or text
It'll
message?
come out fine.
I have no idea.
Could it possibly be around that exact same time?
Possibly.
Man, but what difference does it make? Get to
So
the
that's
point.
possibly in early 2018.
Yes.
Who cares? Please get to the point, please.
Please.
Who do you think initiated the final communication in our relationship?
Who concluded it?
Who knows? Who cares?
I don't know.
So right now it's 2025, is that correct?
Yes.
And so we haven't spoken in about 8 years. Would that be correct?
It's probably 7 or 8 years.
Okay. So would you say up until that point that how often would we communicate before that?
Before what?
Before 2018?
Probably on a regular basis. Once a month, twice a month, 3 times a month.
Like a call or a text message?
Yes.
Just keeping in touch?
Yes.
Wow.
God, she's annoying as fuck.
Yeah.
You know, us living in Hawaii and you were living in Kansas at the time?
Yes.
And in your career, you lived in lots of different places. Is that correct?
Yes.
Austin,
Yes.
Dallas,
Yes.
New York,
Yes.
Wichita,
Yes.
Sacramento.
Yes.
Did I miss anything?
Others.
And I was in Texas,
Yes.
Arizona,
Yes.
Hawaii.
Yes.
Nobody
So
cares,
would you say
Lori.
that we were not
Seriously,
physically
nobody cares.
close during the past 20 years?
Yes, I would say that.
So our communication would be solely family get-togethers, occasional text messages. Is that correct?
And phone calls, yes.
Okay. So, Mr. Cox, did you see or hear or personally witness me conspire with my brother Alex Cox to murder my husband Charles Vallow?
Repeat that again?
Okay. Did you see with your eyes or hear with your ears or personally witness me conspire with my brother Alex Cox to murder my husband Charles Vallow?
No.
Thank you. No more questions.
Redirect.
Have you talked to your sister since Charles was shot and killed?
No.
So since that happened, you cut off all communications with her?
Yes.
Prior to that, you were being asked about 2018 being at Lori and Charles's house. Was that the time where Lori told you she was becoming a celestial being?
Yes.
And the time where she was telling you other ideas that were not in line with the LDS faith?
Yes.
After you had heard those statements by your sister, you told us that she had asked you if you thought she was crazy, right?
Yes.
And you had responded back how?
I don't know if you're crazy, but what you're telling me is not true.
After you told her that her beliefs were not true, did that sort of end your talking with her?
Yes.
You were asked if you personally saw, heard your sister Lori conspire to kill Charles. Were you there that morning?
No.
Were you the person who was supposed to, though, be with Alex on the 10th into the morning of the 11th? You spent the night with him?
If I would have spent the night with him, yes.
So that stood out to you because you had made plans with your brother, right?
Yes.
And instead, you learned he was at Lori's house.
Yes.
You told us that you thought it was odd that your brother would be over at your sister's house at 7:30 in the morning.
Yes.
And you were aware that your brother had guns.
Yes.
Charles was going there to pick up JJ, right?
Yes.
And so did it seem odd to you that your brother would bring a gun that was loaded with extra magazines that was not safe to your sister's house where JJ was?
Objection, out of scope. This is not
Goes
just
to
a
the conspiracy.
redirect. This is not just a redirect.
Hey, I didn't ask for argument. Okay. The objections overruled.
What's the question?
Sure. Did it stand out to you that your brother, who knew JJ, would bring a loaded gun and extra ammunition to the house where JJ was running around?
Well,
It wasn't-
I didn't know at the time.
Yeah.
You're saying afterwards?
Yeah, you learned afterwards your brother killed him, right?
Yes.
And we're talking about this conspiracy and things that are going on. Did that seem odd to you that your brother would bring a loaded gun and extra ammunition in an unsafe way to a house where your, sister's son, JJ, lived?
Yeah, it seemed extreme.
When you were talking to your family after this happened, did you actually tell them that you believed that Lori and Alex had conspired to kill Charles?
Yes.
Why was that?
Because Lori had told people that Charles was no longer living, that some guy named Ned was inside of his body, that there's a zombie living inside of him. And Alex didn't respond to any of my text messages when I was supposed to be with him. And he was at that house that morning. Lori talking crazy about how she's a translated being. All these things all added up into that moment and that morning. Once I found out on Saturday that Charles was shot and killed, no doubt in my mind that they killed him. That's the
Wow.
feeling that I got.
And you told your family that?
Yes.
No other questions?
Well, damn.
The last line of questioning from the possession of the gun on, I think the defendant's right, was technically beyond the scope of her cross. So based on that, I'll allow the defendant, if she wants to recross on those issues, if she elects to, may do so now.
Well played, Judge. Well played.
Wow. She's probably standing there with her fucking mouth gaping open. I know I am.
Well, look, when she said that, I knew she was right.
So did he.
I know.
Are there any questions from any member of the jury?
She's like, they got me. I have no questions.
No, I know. I mean, that was. I can't believe what just came out of his mouth.
This is brilliant. Probably not legal, but brilliant.
Law and Order just shuts down when it's not even a fuck you out the door. Nothing. Just
Well,
bye.
that was a video, though. To be fair, that
Oh,
yeah, don't
sorry.
cause a mistrial. That's
They did that on the live stream too that time. He's like,
Yeah.
let's break it, eating it, and they're already gone. All right, bye.
run.
Get out of here where she gets us. Whew.
Yes, let me do some membership giveaway. Let me find them. Membership giveaways right quick. Well, there it is. Before we go.
And then should we start streaming again tomorrow?
I
Maybe
think we
we
should. Do you think so?
Yeah, I mean, I think it might be worth a try.
Welcome, Jennifer Tenney, Sandra Louise, Jenny L, Orange Butterfly. I can't see anymore. Donna E. Oh, hey, Donna E. All right. Well, it's up to. Are we going to start? All right.
Yeah,
Yes,
we'll try
congratulations.
again tomorrow. We'll try streaming again tomorrow, since it seems like it's picking up a little.
Yes. All right. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here and hanging in and all the
It was good.
above.
It was a good day. That was
Yes.
definitely fun listening today.
Absolutely.
Finally
I
starting to
appreciate y'all.
All right, bye guys. See you tomorrow.
Bye, y'all.